in the morning. You got me up, all cause you need to talk. To 4 in the evening, wanna break up, say that you've had enough. I'm tired of talking, again and again, argue about everything. You are my darling, this kiss and make up, I know you wanna touch. You call me every night, call me every day, I just wanna get you alone now. Trust me when I say, we gon' be okay, we just gotta boom bada boom ba. I don't wanna fight, you know that I'm right, baby let me talk to your body. We gon' be okay, hear me when I say.
Oh wow, wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Get my name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay.
Who told you that you can rise from the morass of your current situation? Who told you that you had to be a slave to the pain of your past? Who told you that you had to settle for mediocrity in this current culture called America? Who told you that you couldn't change your mind? Talk to me. Now's the time for empowerment. And I'm not the Reverend Knight. I'm the culture clinician.
addicted to you. All of my attention I've been giving to you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. On my mind, I can't lie. On my mind, I can't lie. Pull you down till you dry. Pull you down till you dry. All the time, ease my mind. All the time, ease my mind. I know that you're dangerous, I'm addicted to you. I might rent the Lambo and go drive it like it's stolen. I've been living wild, I'm just going through the motions. Stumbling out the Uber, grab my hand, gave me the notion. Swimming in your water, but it feels just like the ocean. I can't lie, I've really been addicted to you. All of my attention I've been giving to you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. On my mind, I can't lie. On my mind, I can't lie. Pull you down till you dry. Pull you down till you dry. All the time, ease my mind. All the
Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, press 1. If you guys can hear me, please press 1 because we're going to get into it in a few minutes. If you guys can hear me, press 1. This is going to be a good show, guys. And it's going to be a show that's very important as it relates to masculinity. I told you guys that when you're not fortifying your inner sanctum as a man, you become a saboteur of your own ignorance. You become broken under the spell of shame and hurt. I got this story by my man, Brotherly Love. He sent it to me. Shout out to him. Brotherly Love sent me this story on Facebook. And it's been all on breaking news. A lot of people have already touched the topic. I saw my homeboy Guapo talking about it as I got the post. And it's talking about how Will Smith resigns from the Academy, guys. He resigned from the Academy because he was broken under despair. He was broken by a wicked and a very vile woman, a woman that's not protecting his ego as a man. I told you guys that a broken man is a hopeless man, and a hopeless man is a very dangerous man. And what you guys saw in Will Smith was a man that was broken beyond repair. Broken to the point now, he's going to have a schema affliction. Hold tight. And that schema affliction is going to cause a lot of pain for Will Smith long term. Can you guys see me? I don't know if you guys can see me or not. If you can see me, guys, hit 1. This thing is, I don't know if it's a computer, but it's spinning. If you guys can see me, hit 1. Hit 1 if you can see me. I can't see myself. But if you guys can see me, hit 1. Hit 1 if you guys can see me. Hold tight. I don't think you guys can see me. Hold tight, guys. All right. I think you guys can see me. All right, so hold tight. Well, I can't see myself, but you guys say y'all can see me, so I don't know what's going on. All right, hold on. This thing is acting stupid because I can't see myself. All right. Give me a minute, guys. Let me respin this piece because all right, there we go. You guys can see me now. All right, so give me a minute, guys. Give me 1 minute. We're going to talk about how Will Smith, sadly, guys, was dethroned. Will Smith, guys, was dethroned on yesterday. And because he was dethroned, guys, he's going to have a schema affliction. Listen, when men love themselves, they don't put themselves in predicaments that can cause them shame, hurt, and pain. This story is very dear to me because I've seen so many men suffer dealing with very vile women. And some of you men that are listening have dealt with vile women like Jada Pinkett Smith, women that don't have your best interests at heart, women that don't have your sex, women that's not supporting you as it relates to being a man. And a man can't be the best version of himself, guys, when he don't have a woman in his corner that's protecting his ego. And we're going to break this thing down because once again, like I said, man, my man, Brotherly Love sent me this article. And there were many people that broached it on yesterday. Hold tight. And we're going to talk about it in fullness. Because moving forward, guys, as I told you, the gospel is one of the most red pill books in the world. But if you plan to get married, you better hope that you get you a traditional woman. Because many modern women are not traditional. Many don't honor and respect you as a man. And when you got money on the line, when you got resources on the line, it becomes very perilous that you get women in your life. They're going to hold you not only accountable when you're wrong, but are going to support you. And so Will Smith didn't have a woman that protected him as a man. And that's why he's going to suffer, guys, the recompense of his error. Shout out to my man, Clement Gray, for that $5 super sticker. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that $5 super sticker. Clement Gray said, can't protect a wife who's not honorable, kosher. A lot of brothers on YouTube defended Will Smith saying he was right. reread Willie Lynch, reread Willie Lynch, no honor. Right. It is no honor. There is no honor because that man's inner sanctum, I'm sad it was violated. But, you know, the story goes on and on and on and on and on, guys. And that's what happens when a man's inner sanctum is violated. That's what happens when a man's inner sanctum is violated. Hold tight, guys. That's what happens when a man's inner sanctum is violated. I want you guys to share this show because it's going to be a good one. I promise you it's going to be a good one. And I'm going to provide you guys with the evidence to what I'm talking about. But hold tight in a minute. Just give me a minute. I got to set something up, so hold tight. Hold tight. Hold tight, guys. I just got to set this thing up. Trying to run this thing by myself is crazy. Hold tight. All right, we about to cook. Hold tight. We're going to cook on this one because I want to make sure you guys have a very rewarding show. And if nothing don't happen tonight, I should have another show for you guys. All right, hold tight. All right, here we go. All right, so once again, Will Smith was dethroned. And listen, you know, art imitates life. It imitates life so powerful. And Will Smith was dethroned because he didn't have a woman that was honorable for him. He didn't have a woman that protected him as a man. There's a difference, guys, between a traditional woman and there's a succinct difference between a modern, very liberal woman. Most men by nature are very traditional if they're very masculine. Most men that are masculine are very traditional. But what you're seeing now, guys, you're beginning to see a new culture of women that have not been under the guidance and the leadership of a masculine father. And so when you get with women that have not been conditioned to honor and serve you as a man, you put your life at risk. You put your mind at risk. He that lacks discipline, guys, will bring himself to poverty and shame. And that's what happened to Will Smith. He lacked discipline. And because he lacked discipline, his inner sanctum was not only violated, but now he's going to have poverty of thought, poverty of mind, poverty of spirit, but also poverty of promise. Will Smith is going to suffer irreparable damage based on what this woman has done to him. And this story has been all over the news, it's been all over the media, guys. And once again, it's art imitating life. It's the power of art imitating life. And art imitates life powerful when you more or less understand the scribes and the scrolls and the teachings of the elders. And that's why it's so important for us as men to more or less give tutelage to the younger men, not to become victims of our own ignorance, not to become slaves of this new consciousness and this new morality. So I'm going to show you guys the clip, and I'm going to read through the information that my man gave me, Brotherly Love. And shout out to Brotherly Love. And you're right, Mr. Gigi, the Bible is very real. I totally agree. Tim Howard said, this is what happens when you marry a trash-ass woman. It's really important to marry than the actual wife, not the disrespectful and the dishonorable 304. Right. She's very dishonorable. And you guys are going to see it firsthand. Corey Hager said that she is in love with a memory, and Will has tried to become a man she can love. In the process, he's losing his own identity. Always be true to yourselves, gentlemen, and that is so true. And I told you guys, once your inner sanctum is violated, you can become dethroned. Look what happened to Samson. His inner sanctum was violated by Delilah. He became dethroned. Look what happened to Cleopatra. She was able to get into the inner sanctum of other men. They became dethroned. Look what happened to King David. He saw Bathsheba and lust after her. He became dethroned. And it happens to men, guys, over and over and over and over again. Art imitates life. It can happen to me. No man is beyond reproach. But Will Smith is dethroned, and Will Smith resigns because he allowed a woman that's not worthy of his love, affection, and adulation to get inside his inner sanctum as a man. And that's why I do what I do, because you have to change, like Mr. Palmer said. You got to change the law in your mind.
especially as it relates to modern women. You have to change, guys, the law in your mind. Once you change the law in your mind, you will no longer become a slave to nebulous thinking. Once you change the law in your mind, you will no longer become a slave to nebulous thinking. And so many men are slaves to nebulous thinking. You're a slave to the icons of the past as it relates to your mothers. And what happens a lot of times, because you guys are slaves to nebulous thinking, you can be a slave of a condition called gravy train simping. And we're going to talk about the gravy train simp at some point. But the gravy train simp is basically a fool that thinks that things are the way they were of old, that he's not going to have to invest money and time and resources to modify the behaviors of these current modern women. Traditional women, you don't have to put in a lot of work because traditional women know their place. Traditional women are not perfect, but traditional women know their place and they're willing to submit to the authority of their husband. But see, the gravy train simp, he's still thinking like in 1940s and 50s. And he'll tell you that, you don't talk to women that way because he doesn't know any better. He's not aware that women of this new generation have changed radically. And that's why he is a gravy train simp. Guys, get the likes up. If you're not sharing the content, share this content. Let's take this show and this channel to a whole nother level. I'm working hard behind the scenes, guys. I'm trying to get us there. So, like I was saying earlier, the gravy train simp, he doesn't know what his place is. He doesn't understand the time. And so just like that old dusty dog on that gravy train commercial, a modern woman will have you looking like a hound dog. She'll have you looking like a hound dog because you still believe in the gravy train ideology. And gravy train simping is a concept that I came up with as it relates to many times the boomers of old that think they can use the rhetoric of the past to modify guys and change women. So I'm going to pull up this information I got from Brother Love, guys. And once again, guys, share this content. And I'm going to open the screen up and hold tight. And we're going to read what my man gave to me from TMC. He gave it to me yesterday. Shout out to Brother Love. And he was talking about breaking news. TMZ got it fresh off the press. And it says that Will Smith has been Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? If you can hear me, hit 1. Can you guys hear me now? If you can hear me, please hit 1. I don't know what's going on with this goofy thing, man. If you can hear me, hit 1. Before I move forward, if you guys can hear me, please hit 1. Hit 1 if you guys can hear me. There's always something. All right. Wow. Always something, guys. Always something. All right, so hold tight. You guys can hear me now, so hold tight. What the heck is going on? All right. So anyway, Will Smith has resigned for the Academy of Motion Pictures after slapping Chris Rock, TMZ has confirmed. Will wrote the following to the Academy's disciplinary committee. I will fully accept any and all consequences for my conduct. My actions at the 94th Academy presentation were shocking, painful, and inexcusable. And as I said earlier, Rubens added that we will continue to move forward in our disciplinary actions. And that's what happens once again, guys. A man that lacks discipline will bring himself to poverty and shame. Will Smith was dethroned mentally, socially, morally, and spiritually because he invested his time, money, and resources in a woman that was not worthy of his love, attention, and or adulation. Once again, shout out to Brother Love for this article. He goes on, the list of those I have hurt is long and includes Chris, his family, many of my dear friends and loved ones. All of those in attendance and global audience at home, I betrayed the trust of the Academy. I deprived other nominees and winners of their opportunity to celebrate and be celebrated for this extraordinary work. I'm heartbroken, says Will Smith. And there's more. I want to put the focus back on those who deserve attention for their achievements and allow the Academy to get back to the incredible work as it does to support creativity, artistry, and film. So I'm resigning from the membership in the Academy of Motion Pictures and Arts and Sciences and will accept any further consequences that the board deems. And that's sad, guys. That is sad. That's sad, guys. Hold tight. That's sad because you would think that a woman will have a man's best interest, especially a woman, a man of Will Smith's accolades, a man of Will Smith's stature, a man of Will Smith's prominence. You would think that a woman would have his best interest. But sadly, that woman didn't have his best interest because that woman is selfish. That woman, guys, have a spirit of Jezebel. She's like the typical modern woman. She's not like the Proverbs 31 woman that seeks to more or less build her man and to build her house. Because a wise woman, guys, builds her house, but a foolish woman tears it down. We need wise women like Florida Evans, the Florida Evans of the world. We need women like that. We need women like Fannie Lou Hamer. And that's what men are saying to themselves. Men want traditional women. They want traditional women. They have not been indoctrinated by liberal dogmas. Women that have not been indoctrinated to fight against their men. Women that don't believe that men are oppressing them, but women that love and honor, respect, and support their men in the beauty of righteousness. And that's what men are getting. That's what men are looking for. Golden Child said that she's jealous of him and has a low-key contempt. Yes, she definitely have a low-key contempt because Will is an A1 actor, A-list actor. She hasn't been relevant since, I don't know, set it off. Jada hasn't been relevant for a while, guys. And that's the problem. Clement Gray said that he may be heartbroken, but I guarantee you that Jezebel, wife of his, has not. Wouldn't be surprised she leave him after this. Wouldn't be surprised either, because she's been berating him for the longest. She has been berating him, and she has been more or less impacting him mentally as a man. Guys, do me a favor, share this show. I need at least 10 people. I need 10. Share this stream with at least 10 people. Let's get this stream up to where it needs to be at. This was breaking news on yesterday. There have been certain people or some people that have covered the topic. But let's get this stream up, guys. And so I need you guys to share it. Once you guys share the show, let me know. But Will Smith has become dethroned. Hold tight. Will Smith is dethroned. And I want to ask you guys a question to the men that are listening. How many of you men have been dethroned mentally, socially, financially, and spiritually because of an unsavory woman? How many of you men have been dethroned? How many of you men now have schema afflictions because you dealt with women that didn't have your best interest? You dealt with women that fought with you in relationships. You dealt with women, guys, that fought for you for power. How many of you men have been dethroned in relationships? And how many of you men now are suffering from the recompense of dealing with such women? If you're dealing with women like that, I need you guys to hit 1. If you're dealing with women like that, I need you guys to hit 1. Clement Gray said that Tim Howard, straight facts, yes. Corey Hager said, honestly, if Will embraces a decline in status, she will leave him and he can rebuild a life and focus on it long term. Gregory Scotland said, but remember, you constantly hear women in the space and say, why wouldn't they build a man or with a man? Right. I totally agree. And a lot of men have been broken due to unsavory women. A lot of men have been broken because a broken man, guys, is a hopeless man. And a hopeless man is very dangerous. Will Smith was very dangerous because he was ruminating, guys, about the things that he knew that his wife did. And I got some powerful evidence that I'm going to show you guys in a minute. I took some time to put this show together, guys, so I got something to show you guys in a minute. But I need you guys to support the stream. And if you have not donated, donate the Cash Out $7 Smalls. Get the likes up. I appreciate everything you guys do. As we're on this Final Four Saturday, as my North Carolina Tar Heels face off against Duke University. All right, so anyway, he concludes by saying, change takes time, and I have committed to doing the work to ensure that I will never allow violence to overtake reason. And that's what happens. Men, I'm going to say it again. When you fall in love, and see, some of y'all thought I was playing or I was foolish when I said it, but that's why I said a man should never fall. That's why I said that a man should never fall. A man should never fall in love, but he should love within reason. Because when a man falls in love, he normally becomes a saboteur of his own demise. Will Smith fell in love and he loved Jada Pinkett more than he loved himself. Look at what he just said. He concludes by saying, once again, change takes time, and I'm committed to doing the work to ensure that I will never allow violence to overtake reason. I want you guys to let that sink in. He concludes by saying, change takes time, and I'm committed to doing the work to ensure that I never allow violence to overtake reason. A reasonable man and a logical man would have never hit Chris Rock. But when a man loves his woman more than he loves himself, he becomes very emotional. That's why I said love is dangerous, because love is based on a feel-good hormone called dopamine. Some of you men are still on that dopamine rush. You're hoping that you'll get a righteous woman. You're hoping that you'll get a woman that's going to protect you as a man. And many of you guys have not gotten that type of woman up to date. Some of you are still dealing with these modern women that are not honorable and or respectable, and don't respect or value your ego as a man. And some of you men are saying it's hard to find traditional women here in America. Traditional women that have been conditioned to respect masculinity and to honor and respect you as a man. And as I said before in the past, it's not that men don't want to get wives, they want to get married. But what they're saying is that the quality is not as good, because you got average women that think they're better than average men. Jada Smith does not deserve Will Smith. She does not deserve his last name. If Will Smith got rid of Jada Smith Pinkett, he can get a superior woman to her. Will could get a superior woman. And you can tell she's feminist indoctrinated because she doesn't even take his whole last name. If you get a woman, guys, that's not willing to take your whole last name, she's not worthy to be your wife. Because as a man, you got more than lose than she does. And so a woman is committed to the mission of a man. A woman is committed to the masculinity of a man, is not only willing to take his last name, but she's willing to submit to his authority, but also to his masculinity. All right. So now Will Smith is going to the Hall of Shame. Will Smith is going into the Hall of Shame. And now, because of that, Will Smith made a lot of men look bad. Will Smith made a lot of black men look bad. as it more or less pushes brothers back in a nebulous time. And Bill Maher even said it better than me. Hold tight, guys. He said, Jada's alopecia ain't cancer, it's hair loss. He was saying it's no big deal. And I'm going to be sensitive to women that got alopecia. But see, you guys going to see from the evidence that, one, and based on some studies that are based on some breaking news, Chris Rock never knew that she had alopecia. And you're going to see the hypocrisy also, guys, of Will Smith. So I put this stream together, guys, earlier today, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, guys. Hold tight. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. All right, so let me share this with you guys. I provided a dope clip that I took some time to more or less make for you guys. Hold on. And we're going to break this thing down schematically. We're going to break this thing down bit by bit and piece by piece. Hold tight. And this is what happened, guys, once again, when you become dethroned because you guys have failed in love. And that's why I tell you guys never fall in love. Love within reason. All right. So I'm going to add this stream and I'm going to break it down. And you guys are going to see the difference between a righteous woman. Hold tight. I keep playing for. You guys are going to see the difference between a righteous woman and a wicked woman. Every wise woman builds her house, but the foolish one tears it down with their own hands. How many of you men know women or knew women based on prior relationships that were not wise? How many of you men knew women that were not righteous? Every wise woman builds her house, but the foolish one tears it down with her own hands. How many of you guys have been in scenarios with foolish women that were not wise, women that sought to more or less put you in a very damaging and very negative predicament? If you've been with a foolish woman, I need you to hit one. Some of you men have dealt with foolish women. Every wise woman builds her house, but the foolish one tears it down with her own hand. Shout out to my man Top Gun for that $5 super stick. He said, the alopecia is just another goal with the feminist scrum, and the narrative will always get moved and changed. You may proceed. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it for that $5 super stick. But you guys see it. A wise woman. How many men have been with wise women? And it's hard to find wise women. It's not because you men are not looking for it. And I'm not saying that the men that are listening are perfect, because you men are not perfect, neither am I. But if every man could just get a wise, cooperative woman, somebody that's building his house, a Proverbs 31 woman, men would be in a better place, a better state of soul, mind, body, and spirit. But men are not getting those outcomes that they used to get from the past. All right, so I'm going to play this montage that I put together, guys. I put a lot of time in it. And I need you guys to support and donate to the channel, so hold tight. All right. How many remember women like Florida Evans? When you think about Florida Evans, what do you think about? You think about a woman that was worldly, or you think about a woman that was in tune with her femininity and a woman that was willing to protect her family? Women like Florida Evans and Big Mama are icons of the past. The current modern women don't live up to the mantle or standards of women of such talents as Florida Evans. But this montage, guys, is going to more or less verify as versus a Jada Pinkett Smith. She would probably have been in front of her husband, but look how she consoles him and try to hold him back. That's what a righteous woman does. A righteous woman does not put a man in a predicament where he can be a damage to himself and others. Keep listening. And that's what happens, guys, when you have the image of a masculine man that's not emotional, but logical. Men, you have to be logical at all times. Not saying you can't be emotional periodically, not saying you can't be emotional from time to time. But your main premise of thought is to be logical so you can protect yourself, your family, and your woman, and also your legacy. But if you're constantly crying and emotional because you're broken by a very unsavory woman, then that's not helpful or beneficial to you as a man. Keep listening. Now, in this scene, JJ was shot by this thug. And look where Florida Evans is at. Florida Evans does not tell her husband, go get him, James, go hurt him. But look how she supports him. Look at James Evans. Even though his son was shot, he still maintains and holds his masculine frame. He's still reveling in his masculinity, and he got a woman that's supporting him. But you don't see men like that now. You see a bunch of emotional men now. I grew up in a time where you had masculine men that can hold their own. And that's when black men were a lot more stronger. But you don't have it anymore. Gregory Scotland said that it's funny, many people heavily criticized Good Times at the time, yet James Evans was a strong example of a masculine man, yes. And Tim Howard said, instead, Jada was laughing. Yes, we got the evidence. We're going to show you guys in a few minutes. A lot of black men suffer because of a toxic breeder. That is so true. I totally agree. All right, guys, get the stream up, share the content. Have you guys shared the content? If you shared the content, I need 5 people to 10 people to hit 1. Hit 1, guys, if you shared the content now. Please do now. I want to get the stream popping. So if you guys have shared the content, please hit 1. Hit 1, guys, if you shared the content. That's a loving and a very honorable wife. You guys see it with your own eyes. That's an honorable and very loving wife. That's a woman that got her man's back, a woman that got his 6. That's a very feminine woman. That's a righteous woman. Something that a lot of you guys are not used to. A lot of you may have not seen righteous women. Florida Evans is an example of a righteous woman. You guys see it. Look how she's consoling her man. She could have told James Evans, go get him. Go make me feel good. Like some of these goofballs like Tiffany Haddish was saying, that he should have, he defended his wife's honor. He protected her. But Jada Smith was not in danger. Jada Smith was not in imminent danger when this occurrence happened. But guess what? If she was a woman of valor, she could have protected her man and said, baby, it's okay. She could have grabbed her man by his hand. But see, these toxic modern women, guys, not the traditional women, shout out to the traditional women. These toxic modern women love drama. They love chaos because many got the spirit of dusty men inside of them. They got the agents of chaos inside of them. That's why they love crap like this. And see, when you deal with toxic, dusty women, guys, if you're not careful, then you can put yourself in a predicament where you can be dethroned as a man. You should never have to put yourself in a predicament where you can be dethroned as a man. And because Will Smith was not in alignment with his emotions, Will Smith became dethroned. And Will Smith now is going to suffer the recompense of his error like so many of you men have suffered from the past. Keep listening.
Oh.
All right, so we're going to see the difference between a traditional woman and a very, what I call, modern woman. You got tradition versus the modern woman. Jada Pinkett should have been protecting her husband, Will Smith. But because Jada Pinkett is selfish, because Jada Pinkett has narcissistic traits, because Jada Pinkett loves herself more than she loves her husband, this is what you guys are getting. A woman that did not protect her husband's inner sanctum. And I told you guys many times in the past that you need to become degreased. Al Grease came with a movie called Frustrated 1, Frustrated 2, and I Will Be in Frustrated 3 with my man El Guapo. But when you become degreased, guys, you're able to change your thoughts. Like Mr. Palmer say, change the law of your mind. You're able to degrease your mind from toxic women and also from toxicity. But some of you guys have not become degrees. Therefore, you guys suffer in silence and you suffer with women that don't have your best interests at hand. But I want you guys to keep listening because it is sad. And now Will Smith, instead of being in the Hall of Fame, he's going to be in the Hall of Shame. How many of you men that are listening and the good sisters that are listening have seen men that are now in prison, have seen men that are now in the grave, have seen men have lost financially because they were trying to defend the honor of an unsavory woman, a wicked woman. A woman, once you defend her honor and you lose your life or kill the next man, once you spend 20 to 40 years in jail, she's not going to be loyal to you. She's going to be laying on her back with another man. And you men defend women like this. That's why, once again, you have to condition yourself not to ever put a woman above yourself as a man. You have to condition yourself to love yourself more than you love her. When you love yourself more than you love her, you no longer become a slave. You're not a slave to emotionalism or feminine wiles. You're a slave to your purpose. You're a slave to God. And once you can become a slave to your purpose in God, then you no longer become a slave to a woman. Shout out to my man Barry Hamilton for that $5 super sticker. Thank you, Barry Hamilton. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you, sir. As we continue this progress on this show, and we continue the progress on why men should always value themselves and change the law in their mind by degreasing it. Mr. Palmer came up with that concept. He said you have to change the law in your mind. And I came up with the concept of degrees, but I want you guys to listen.
Wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
My wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay.
And that's what happens. That's what happens. Top Gun said that if you defend worthless women, if you defend a worthless woman, you better be victorious. If not, the man is going to be taking her down for sure, right? You're 100% correct, man. And it's sad. And you guys saw the footage from the last show. You saw it over and 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 over again. You guys have seen it over and over and over again. Where Will Smith placing himself in a very uncanny predicament. And Will Smith now, guys, is going to suffer from dealing with a very unsavory woman. Look at this clip, guys. It goes back to what we were saying about the traditional woman versus modern woman. Hold tight.
To their body.
And I showed this clip over and over and over again, guys, but you guys have seen it for yourself. See for yourself. See for yourself.
They're not in tune with running a household. They're in tune to social media.
They're not in tune with running a household. They're in tune to social media. But you got folks that say, get married to modern women. We're not saying 100% all women are like this. We're not saying this. But guys, let me ask you guys a question. What percentage of women in America, white or black, Hispanic or Asian, would you say exhibit behaviors like the women, like Jada Pinkett, but also these toxic women that's on the screen? I want you guys to give me a number. What is the number or percentage of women that you guys feel exhibits the behaviors of Jada Smith and also these toxic women? What percentage? Give me a percentage. Shout out to my man, Sam C. He said, shout out to Chris Rock for not moving in on Will. I'm thinking that Chris Rock sees and empathizes with Will Smith's plight. Yes.
That's a bet, right?
That's a deal, right? I totally agree. And it's sad. I'm Sam C. It is very sad.
That's a deal, right? That's a deal.
I do think he sees it. And that's what happens when you don't walk in your masculinity. Right. And so let me go to some of these lists. Timothy Maker said that 91% of women he think are like the women here. Timothy Howard said that 90 plus. Wow, that's sad. Cool Breeze said he feels that 90% of women are like this. And Barry Hamilton said 85. And I've heard the same sentiment from a lot of men. They say that they feel that less than 20% of women are worthy of marriage. So that leaves a very small pool for men to choose from. Because what men are saying, based on their evidence, Top Gun said that Sam C said it's 90%, 90 plus percent. And Top Gun said he thinks 94% of women are like this. And, you know, what percentage of modern women are marriage material? And you guys have seen it for yourself. Less than 50% or less than 20%, these men are saying are marriage material or wife ready or more or less worthy of somebody investing in and putting a ring on their finger. And see, so many people get caught up in this nebulous notion called love and marriage and all that stuff. And I'm not against marriage, but Most of these modern women don't qualify for the office of a wife. They're not worthy of a wife. There are a few good sisters. Shout out to them. I call them the uncovered gems. But many are not worthy of the office of a wife. Because see, guys, if you get with a wrong woman or the wrong woman, you can become dethroned. You can become dethroned just like Will Smith. You're going to have a schema affliction just like Will Smith. Because see, Will Smith has been dealing with a negative schema. He's been dealing with the schema of Tupac Shakur. Because a schema is a fixation. And that fear was that he never thought he would measure up. He's been dealing with the schema of seeing his mom being violated. The schema of his mom being violated was based on the fear that he could not protect his mom. That's what Will Smith is dealing with, guys. And so many of you guys are dealing with a schema affliction as well. You don't think you add up because many times many women will say that you're dusty. Many will say that you don't measure up. Many will say that you are not worthy of love. Many will say that, you're dusty or you're broke. You got a small phallus. You got to have a job if you want to be with me. And see, people think when I do these shows, I do them because, I have some kind of disdain for women. I don't at all. Actually, I love and support good black women. There's a few good sisters on my page that have supported me. Shout out to the Luke Cages of the world. Shout out to Lulu Bean. Shout out to Miss Parker Back to Basics. Shout out to Jenny Morena. Shout out to Elisa Del Rosario and a few others that I have not named. There are some women that support and are trying to do the right thing. But see, it's hard to find good quality women when we live in a world where women trying to do the right thing, people shamed up back into silence by calling them mammies and calling them pygmies. And that's a shame. Thank you, Corey Hager. I will definitely check that out. Thank you, brother. I sent you lunch on PayPal. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I appreciate that, Corey. Gregory Scotland said, what's so disappointing is there are the men who think that this is the proper way of protecting a woman. If it could be your life or sin, that many of them are infiltrating the manosphere. Yes, many are. Top Gun said that 6 of 100 women are immune to service. Yeah, some of them are immune, man. That's funny, man. That's real funny. Clement Gray said that it was based off an emotion of his wife. Remember, he laughed at it the first right, and off her facial expression. You're right. Sam C said that I haven't met any woman that I would have the discernment to calm down and encourage this type of action. I haven't met any woman that would have the discernment to calm down and would have encouraged this type of action. That's sad. Maury Speaks the Beast said that he believes that only 7% are wife-worthy or wife material. And that's a crisis. And so many people saying, oh, you should marry certain types of women, chicks that got, 4 and 5 kids by different men. Women that don't respect men, women that don't honor and respect their husbands or their fathers or their grandfathers. But you want these single men that never had kids just to settle for mediocrity. But it's good to find logical women. It's good to find good women that see what us men are going through. I love celebrating good sisters. It's not like some good sisters, white or black, that seek to enhance the cause of black men and black families and black communities. But the current community that we live in, guys, is a shallow of what it was in the past. And when you deal with these modern women, you can become dethroned under the eye of scrutiny. Barry Hamilton said that Will Smith thought, with the hint of his ruler Jada, that he demonstrated his masculinity by hitting Chris Rock. Subsequently, he emasculated himself. Yes. Clement Gray said that 99% ain't worthy, only a remnant. Yes, I'm going to do a show called The Remnant. And shout out to sisters like Shalakimia Moffitt, good sisters. Shout out to women like Chantel Simone. Good sisters that are trying, good sisters that are uncovering so that they can recover. And men are not ignorant to women and comedians. Men know that some women are comedians, even the ones that act like they're cool. Men are not ignorant to it. But eventually, they always tell on themselves anyway. Eventually, a woman's true nature will come out. No more than a hyena simp. Eventually, a hyena simp's true nature will come out as well. Because Will Smith is a hyena simp. Will Smith is a gravy train simp. And a lot of these older men are gravy train simps. Because they don't think that you got to put power, money, and demand respect in these current relationships. They think their relationship's going to be like a gravy train. It's going to be easy. They're going to sit back and gain prominence, but not putting in work. But no, if you deal with modern women and don't understand modern women, you will become a gravy train simp. And I'm going to trademark that. So if you hear anybody talking about the gravy train simp, know that they got it from the coach clinician first. So Troy, I need you to report.
Fire
Tell
for
me,
your
if
mind.
you're anybody talking about a gravy train
Kosher
simp,
clinician.
I'm going to do a show on the gravy train simp at some point. And hopefully tonight, guys, we should have Angry Man on talking about the black community if nothing don't happen. So I'm looking forward to that show if he shows up, if we decide to do it. And it'll be at 7 o'clock, hopefully if nothing don't happen. Gregory Scotland said, what's so disappointing? Yeah, so I saw that. Okay, cool. All right, so hold tight. Byron Hammond says, Jada sat there and let Will minimize himself. She does not support her husband. Jada expects him to support her instead. She's gradually sucking the life of him, right? And that's why he's having a schema affliction. He's dealing with the schema of not being able to protect his mother, internalizing his trauma. He's also displacing his aggression. He's dealing with the schema of Tupac Shakur, never measuring up to him. And he's dealing with a lot of things. And I do feel sorry for Will. You know, I might call him a simp, but I do feel sorry for him to some degree because Will Smith is an unconscious simp. He doesn't know any better. He's like a lot of men in Hollywood or men in regular life. They don't really understand female nature. And when a man is under the guise of not having masculine men, then they live their lives to defend the woman instead of living their lives based on principle. Will Smith probably saw his mother in Jada Pinkett. And that was his ability or his time to defend the image of his mom. He could have saw the image of his mother living through vicarious trauma and associating that with Jada Pinkett Smith. But also, he could have saw Chris Rock as a soft target because he used that to more or less square off on Chris Rock. And that's sad. Timothy Harden said that 91% of them are in a state of arrested development. I totally agree. Rashad Malcolm Timmons said, I was protected by a Filipino when I was going to beat down a guy who smacked a female in the club. 3 grabbed me and 1 settled me, no doubt. That's powerful. And that's a woman that loves you as a man. That's a woman that's not toxic. There are some good women, guys, out here that will love you, honor you, and respect you as a man. There are some good women that are not byproducts of toxic femininity. There are some good women that want to protect your inner sanctum. And unless a woman is one, disciplined, unless a woman is one, born under a masculine society, unless a woman is more or less in tune with herself with spirituality, and she's been in a place where she can serve her man, and men is free of liberal indoctrination, that's the woman that you want to marry. That's the woman that you want to love and a woman that you want to protect you. So hold tight. Let me read out some of these super stickers. Shout out to my man, Otto. Thank you, Otto, for that $5 super sticker. He said for the knowledge. No doubt. I appreciate it, brother. And let me also shout out my man, Corey Hager. I appreciate it, Corey. Thank you, sir. Hold tight. Let me read out Corey Hager. Hold tight. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so anytime this stupid thing clicks back on. But shout out to Corey Hager for that. Oh, my goodness. Corey Hager, thank you, sir. That was very generous and kind of you, Corey. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, Corey. Very kind of you, man. That is a deal, right? Shout out to my man, Corey Hager, for that $50 super $50 PayPal. Corey Hager, you are very generous, brother. And I really appreciate that, man. That was extremely kind of you. Corey Hager blessed your brother with a $50 PayPal. And, you know, guys, when you got guys like Corey Hager, Tim Howard, Top Gun, the Ingram Experience, and the women that donate, it makes my time doing these shows worthwhile. You guys don't know the hours and the time I put into making content. Sometimes I go into bed 2 and 3 o'clock at night. It's very time consuming. It's mentally taxing, but I do it for the love of the brotherhood. BSPIN said Jada is sitting on his head and dangling a carrot in his face. Yes. Shout out to Snuggles for that $5 super sticker. He said, I wonder if you people will grant the young man grace for his transgressions and all you would treat him like you say. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if you people will grant the young man grace for his transgressions and will you all treat him like you say white people treat you all. I don't know what that means, Snuggles. And Snuggles, help me out, man. Why do you always say you people? This say black people. But anyway, Snuggles, I appreciate that, sir. I appreciate that, Snuggles. Thank you, sir. All right. But I don't really know what you mean by that, give him grace. I mean, we have given him grace. He's been making a mockery of himself, Snuggles, for years. He's been making a mockery of himself. And because he's making a mockery of himself, now he's a saboteur of his own ignorance. But thank you, Snuggles, once again for that $5 super sticker. And please, Snuggles, stop saying you people. I don't know where the hell you get that from, Snuggles, but stop saying you people. But you funny to me. We're going to drop the link for you, Snuggles. We know your ass ain't going to never pop in. But anyway, keep listening.
They're not in tune with the needs of their significant other or their kids. That, I'm just going to be honest. The women really is like, fuck men. It's all about me. And
that's Jada Pinkett Smith. She don't care about that man. She only care about herself. That's why I said you can't reward bad behavior. But the gravy train simply tell you, to look out for it, drag your knuckles, and protect a woman like her. You got these goofy women like Tiffany Haddish saying he was protecting his woman. No, he wasn't. Because she was not worthy of being protected. She was not in imminent danger. And Chris Rock, once again, did not know that she had alopecia.
I don't know if it comes from the fucked up experience that they've had, or
we're enough. It's enough.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, wait. Let me just wait. Okay, wait. Can I just finish one more thing? Okay, and one more thing about that. Why then?
And look how masculine she is, God. That's the man's mic, and she wouldn't give the man his mic. That's his mic. That's his mic. But she's trying to hog the mic. Look how masculine she is. BSPIN said that if her entanglement wasn't bad enough, she justified her entanglement on the red table talk in front of the world and her husband's face. Yes. And listen, to the 42 that are watching, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, I need everyone that's watching to go subscribe, hit the notification button. A lot of you guys watch The Kosher Clinician, but you haven't subscribed to the channel. So whether you're in England, London, or whether you're abroad, please hit subscribe, all notification button to the top. Subscribe to the channel and help me grow this channel and help me get this brand popping. Once I get into this algorithm, guys, this channel is going to blow up. But in the meantime, until it gets into the algorithm, I need you guys to hit all notifications. And I need you guys to subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate everything you guys do. And once again, thank you for Corey Hager for that $50 PayPal. You're so kind, sir. And I really appreciate that. So hold tight.
And if that's true, why do we have the expression, where have all the good men gone, but nobody's asking, where have all the good women gone?
Oh, they do.
We're privileged.
From where I'm from,
we're the fucking prize. And if women don't know that, we're the prize.
And this is the honor that you guys are defending. Toxic women like this woman, loud, got snuffleupagus eyelashes. Very masculine, probably ran through too. And she said that she's the prize. But what is a man getting from marrying a woman like this? Nothing. Look how loud she is, guys. A lot of masculine energy. What is a man getting for a woman like this? Nothing. But, there are some that said we should marry modern women. Once again, I'm not against marriage, but we should marry only traditional women that have been trained to honor and respect their men. But this woman is not worthy of no ring, or she's not worthy of your time or resources.
Fuck a nigga, we're the prize.
Now imagine, guys, if a man had said that. Imagine if a guy had said F, an N-word, we are the prize. Just imagine that. But
an angle most people have not seen.
This is the angle that's going to shock a lot of you guys. That's why men got to maintain frame at all times. That's why I tell men to love themselves more than they love a typical modern woman. Shout out to my man Byron Hamilton for that $5 super sticker. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, Byron Hamilton TV. Thank you, sir. Very honored, and I respect that. But you guys are seeing it. You guys are seeing it. First time I hear Snuggles isn't a woman. It's a man. Yeah, Snuggles is a man, but I'm okay with Snuggles. But damn Snuggles, you need to refrain from saying you people. That comes out sounding very racist. But I don't think you're a racist, but it sounds racist. So I like Snuggles. Snuggles is funny, but he needs to refrain from saying you people because I don't know what you mean by you people. That sounds very racist. You people. Imagine if I talk with white people, I say you people. So, but I like Snuggles. Snuggles is cool. I don't know why Snuggles won't camp him up, but I do like Snuggles. Snuggles is a cool guy. or whatever it is. But I think it's a man. But shout out to Snuggles, man. Snuggles be in these YouTube streets. Shout out to Snuggles. All right, Jamela Scotland net. Therefore, the Lord will bring the swords on the head of a woman of Zion. The Lord will make their scabs bald. Right. And could it be that what Jamela Scotland Neck is saying, that Jada Pinkett is suffering the recompense of her error? Could it be that Jada Pinkett is bald because she's a wicked woman? You know, it's something to think about, guys. It's something to think about. It is something to think about. Leap year 72 said Will Smith's life has already been sucked out of him. Until he realizes himself by getting away from that Jezebel and getting help, he's going to die. You're right, Leap year. He's going to die slowly. He's already dying because a hopeless man is a broken man, and a broken man is a dangerous man. And Jamela Scotland, and I've seen this before too, brother. Therefore, the Lord will bring swords on the head of the women of Zion. The Lord will make their scalps bald. Some of these women are suffering because they're so wicked. And could it be, you know, I'm not saying it is, but could it be that Jada Pinkett Smith is suffering the recompense of being such a wicked woman? Because she's definitely not a righteous woman, and she definitely doesn't love her husband. Definitely doesn't love her husband. That's why Clement Gray said, that's why Gullarette Tiffany ain't got no man, and when she has one, she can't keep a man, too busy trying to be a man. Yes, sir. Corey, thank you. Yeah, no doubt. Thank you for a great morning show. I appreciate that, Tim. Corey Hager. Thank you, brother. Snuggles, he said, you people is two words put together. Shall I say something else? And if so, what would you like me to say if you don't mind? Now, you cool, Snuggles. I appreciate it, Snuggles. You're cool. Thank you, sir, Snuggles. Thank you for that $5 cash out. I'm super sticker, Snuggles. You cool with me. But I do want you to cam up one day, Snuggles. We want to see who you are. To call your ass the great revealing. Because Snuggles always hide. Tim Howard said that Snuggles is a super troll and support at the same time. Yeah, I like Snuggles. Snuggles funny. All right, Marcus B said that every person, something about that can be used in the comment section. Okay. Maurice, the speaks to beat, if she's the prize, she won't have to say it. I agree with that. Her actions will speak for itself. The Anti-Socialite podcast said the one in the blue is cool, but her friend is clearly out of control. And Troy said that the prize at the bottom of that box of Cracker Jacks is the Dollar Tree. That's funny. That kind of angry woman become baby mothers but would never get married nor engaged to a sustainable relationship. They are too poisonous, and stay well and clear, guys. Yes, I totally agree. But listen to this, guys, as we look at this montage.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
Now remember, Will Smith was laughing, guys, earlier. He was laughing, but he didn't change until she put that serpent venom in him. And she put a battery in his back, and then he started the tap dance.
I'm going to, okay? Okay.
Here.
And I feel so sorry for Chris Rock. I feel sorry. Because, see, Chris Rock has been a victim, guys, of being bullied. But once again, you know, he was a soft target. And Will Smith reinforced some of the thinking patterns of some, you know, liberal white people, that black people are violent, and that we can't control ourselves. And you guys are seeing it firsthand. Now, look at Jada Pinkett Smith, guys. Y'all see her hair right here. Watch this after Will Smith slaps the wine out of him. You see Jada Pinkett. Watch this slowly, guys. Watch her laugh as she's laughing in glee. A woman is putting her man in jeopardy. She's not protecting his ego, and she's sitting back laughing at him.
Is an angle most people have not seen. Look at Jada's reaction.
Watch her hair, guys. Look at her body language. You see her hair rocking back and forth? That's that sister girl laugh. Like, yeah, child. That's that sister girl laugh of Jada Pinkett Smith. Yeah, child. You see her rock her head back like a serpent? That's that sister girl laugh. Yeah, child. That's her laughing. Because she knows she got Will Smith, got a battery in his back. She knows that Will Smith is a puppet. And that poor man is so broken due to vicarious trauma on so many other ends that he's continued to allow this woman to emasculate him. Will Smith, guys, is in need of therapy. Some intense psychoanalytic therapy. Will Smith may need to be in therapy for years until he can uncover so that he can recover as a man. But once again, this is what happens, guys, when you become dethroned once you're under the spell of a wicked woman. Look at her head, guys. That's Sister Girl Rock. Y'all see it? Look at her head. Look at her head. You see it? Look at the smile on her face. I did it intentionally for you brothers to see it. Look at that smile on her face. Look at that smile on her face. What woman puts her man in a predicament where he can lose his livelihood, he can lose his peace of mind, he can lose his status, and he can lose his position because of a wicked woman like Jada Pinkett Smith? If a man likes discipline, he will bring himself to poverty and shame. And that's what's happening with Will Smith. Will Smith lacked discipline. Will Smith was in his emotions. Will Smith now, guys, is going to be brought to poverty and shame because he allowed Jada Pinkett Smith to have what's called a schema affliction. Mental illness is paramount and it percolates many times in our communities. But because we don't talk about it, we minimize it, we just continue to suffer in silence. And like I said, I feel sorry for Will Smith, but at the same time, I don't, because Will Smith is a target of his own ignorance. Insanity is keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Keep listening. Y'all see it? How many guys see that smirk on their face? But you got these goofballs, you got women from the hood that go tell a man, white or black, go defend my honor, bae. And once that man defends her honor, he's in jail, physically maimed, loss of money, loss of income, and with a criminal record. Any woman, man, that puts you in a predicament when you got to defend foolishness, that's not a righteous woman. That's a wicked woman. That's a selfish woman. That's a woman that's going through what's called arrested development. And that's why I do these shows, guys, because many therapists are not talking about topics like this. If you go to most traditional therapists, they'll tell you the reason why you're going through what you're going through is because it's your fault. Because many of these therapists are feminists. They don't respect men. They see men as the issue of all the ills in society. And there are some good therapists that are women. There are some good men, but they're far and few in between. And that's why I do these shows, because I want to see all men liberated, white, black, red, or indifferent. Men need to be liberated from toxic women like Jada Pinkett. But you guys see it. You see that smile on her face. Look at her body language. Let me play it back a little bit one more time. Hold tight. And then we're going to move forward. Hold on. Hold tight.
Okay.
Here
Hold tight.
is an angle most people have not seen. Look at Jada's reaction.
Sister Girl Rock. Look at the smile. Instead of bringing her man back and say, baby, don't do that. But she don't give a damn about Will Smith.
Out your fucking mouth! Wow, dude.
It's success.
Okay.
Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that toxic behavior? And that's what you guys see mostly in most modern women. Toxic, crazy, wow. You know, toxic. Truth is never favored. We need to stop thinking of pushing this narrative that females are innocent. This is more prevalent than we think. Yes, sir, you're right. Truth is never favored. It's more prevalent than we think. And the men, the esteemed gentlemen, said clearly that they thought the percentage of women that were actually honorable is actually less than 90%. It's bad when a small sample size of men feel that most modern women are less than 90% worthy of a ring or protection. That's scary. But people say, you know, we want to build a better and a more perfect union, which is a black community. And I say, where is it? How can we build a better community where we have so many broken men and women? A lot of the men are broken too. We have a lot of broken men too. A lot of men that don't know what their worth is, don't know what their power is. You got the broken men on the left. You got the dusted men on the right. The dusted ones are a small percentage of men that getting these women pregnant and leaving their children and abandoning them. Most men are good men. Most men are hardworking men. But you got about a small percentage of men, I would say about 20 to 25%, that are impregnating black women because women love that thug love. And some of these men are white-collar professionals too, I'm going to be fair. And they're impregnating them and leaving them with children and leaving them to fend for themselves, which in essence is causing an epidemic in our communities, black and white. And that's the issues that we're having now, guys, sadly. But listen to Tiffany Haddish, guys. Listen to this foolishness.
It was a great night tonight.
Okay, what did you...
First of all, I seen a man stand up for his wife, which we don't see that much anymore. That made me have hope. How about you?
That made her have hope that a man will put his career, his livelihood, the image of black men, the image of all men on display to defend a woman that sleeps with other men, sleeps with her son's friends, a woman that talks about how inadequate he is sexually in the bed, and a woman that constantly berates him and talks about the former lover of Tupac Shakur. And I'm going to show you guys some more evidence of how much she loves that man. But we say, guys, we're supposed to protect women like Tiffany Haddish, that's crazy, and also Jada Pinkett Smith. We're supposed to protect violent women like this. Women that are not honorable, women that do not respect their men, women that do not add or contribute to masculinity or the community. But we're supposed to protect women like this. Make it make sense. Because Tiffany Haddish and also Jada Pinkett Smith got the spirit of the hyena. They got the spirit, guys, of a hyena. Because see, the matriarchal hyena does not care about the male hyena. He's a subjugate to her. The only thing the hyena respect is a lion. They only respect masculine lions because a hyena know that it can't mess with a masculine lion one-on-one. A male lion would destroy a hyena one-on-one. Me being a Leo and me standing in the order in the office of masculinity would destroy a hyena one-on-one. That's why they do what they do. Because they know that a true masculine man will never tolerate such behavior. Mr. GG Real Estate said that those chicks in the last video are very much masculine, talking about we are the prize. The delusion of modern day women are for real at Kosher. Yes, sir, it's very delusional. And you guys more or less facilitate it when you more or less give to them. You guys facilitate that narcissistic supply when you guys give to them. See, when I say what I say to them, it's a narcissistic injury. They label men like myself as being toxic and bad, and I'm not. I'm one of the kindest people that you'll meet as long as you don't cross me. But that's what happens, guys. They want you to feed that narcissistic supply. Tiffany Haddish has narcissistic traits. Jada Pinkett Smith definitely have narcissistic traits. It's really psychology, guys. It's psychology. You can make all the money in the world. That's why people say make money. Money don't mean nothing if you're broken mentally. And there are a lot of men that have money, but they are broken mentally. They are slaves to their past. They have arrested development. And that's what Will Smith is dealing with. Clinton Smith said, hey, Coach, people praise the Will not knowing that Chris suffered from a disability as well. Talked about it and how he was bullied as a child. Right. He has autism. And he was bullied as a child. Chris Rock probably has Asperger's, and he's on what's called the autistic spectrum. I taught special education. And the crazy thing about it, guys, I didn't realize it. The DeBose young lady, Ariana DeBose, her mother and I actually taught school together. I didn't realize who she was until I heard the last name again. And Ariana DeBose and her mother and I, we were teachers together in Raleigh. We taught school together, went to the same school. I knew her mother, in passing. I was a special ed teacher. She was a regular ed teacher. We were often taught. And I never thought in a million years a young lady that I remember as a child would be part of the Oscars. Never thought in a million years, but that's how small the world is. And that's a testament to what I've done also as a therapist and also as a teacher. Because you're right, Chris Rock has autism, and he's on what's called, Asperger's probably, and he's on the autistic spectrum. I never realized it, but you can tell because they have, they're socially awkward. And it's sad. But those on the spectrum are very smart. But keep listening, guys.
How did you feel about it?
I wanted your opinion on it because you're a comedian. And so it was that thing where, was that joke too far? How did you feel about what Will did? Because you are someone who's done comedy, and yet, like you just said, you saw a man defending his wife.
Yeah. I want to know how you felt about it. Would you want your husband to do that for you if you was clearly hurt? They put her face up on the screen.
Look at this. Emotions over logic. Emotions over logic. So you got to understand, guys, how women think And this is not a disrespect to women. Women don't think long term. They don't have the gift of provision. Women do have the gift of nurturing, and they have the gift of feeling the world, and they have the gift of some discernment from the short term. But men have greater long-term discernment. We can see things because we are more logical. Women and men balance one another once they're in synchronicity with one another. But this woman has emotions, guys, over logic. She said that, what would you want your husband to do? You want your husband to go slap another man before the world to see, only to have to resign and say, I'm sorry, and only to have to more or less resign from the academy and cry on stage. That makes no sense. That's why you should never be a slave to your woman's feelings. It's your job to guide her. It's your job to lead her. It's your job to love her. It's your job to love her. It's your job to love her, but it's also your job to check her. And like Bishop Charles E. Williams said, y'all ain't gonna talk to me. Because the gospel say that he will rule over her, meaning he will lead her and guide her. But so many of you men don't know how to guide your wives. So many of you men drag your knuckles. You don't know how to lead your women. You let your women lead you. And Tim Howell said, another bald-head serpent boosting the head men of paddling like a dog to get destroyed. Basically, when she says a real man, she's saying a good dog. Right. A good dog. I see your point, brother.
Over at his wife, she was hurt. What would you want?
I would want him to defend me. The thing that made me sad was like this was a big night for Will, and then you saw that emotion for him. And
so, what is Will supposed to defend? Now, when the transgender lady talked junk to Will, what did Will do? Will did nothing. Earlier in the night, one of the comedians was mocking Will and Jada. They did nothing. But when Chris Rock says something that was harmless, then he gets punched in his mouth or slapped in the mouth. Make it make sense.
it was like, it's just, I don't think I've still processed how this night went, you know?
Well, I just know she better take care of business when they get home. Because I know I would.
So she said, take care of business. Tiffany Haddish is about 50 years old. If you're used to having sex with your wife, I mean, it ain't no damn prize. It's no prize if you've had sex with her already. So take care of business. But if Raekwon the man take care of business. So what is a man getting in return? What is he getting in return? He ain't getting no fresh box. But what is he getting in return? What is he getting in return? Shout out to my man James Huggins for that $5 super sticker. And he said, go Tar Heels. Thank you, sir. Hopefully Carolina will pull off an epic upset and beat Duke. It's not even an upset, but definitely beat Duke. But I'm looking forward to that game tonight. But what is he getting in return, guys? Just like on Valentine's Day. So many men say, oh, well, what is your wife going to give her? He going to give me some sex. Well, you're supposed to get that anyway. That's nothing special. You're giving her your body as well. But she think just because she give you some sex, that's more important than your dignity as a man. And see, guys, that's what some modern women see you as. Nothing but lap dogs. Nothing but lap dogs. Only she got to do is, just show up, give you some box. That's been used up, by the way. And, you're supposed to be okay with it. But that means she doesn't respect and honor you as a man. And we see it all too often, guys. We see it all too often. Top Gun said Tiffany Hoodrat is putting the limelight by Hollywood to portray and penalize the black ratchet feminists. Shout out to Tim Howard. Top Gun, thank you, sir. I agree with that. Tim Howard to stay away from these toxic women. And you're correct. But listen to what she's saying.
Man did that for me. I'm just saying. Yellow.
Did you talk to either of them tonight?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Did you tell them how you felt?
Oh, they know how I feel.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, they know how I feel. That's my friends. Yes. They know. Yes.
Well, you go way back with them to some of the.
To girls trip. Yes. Yeah. They know my crazy. Yes. Yeah.
Well, it was incredible to watch Will up there, T1. How did you feel watching him give that speech?
I felt very proud. I felt gratified. And I just hope that more men are like that.
More men are like that, guys. A man being emotional. See, women like Tiffany Haddish, the ones that are not conscious, they're not like the traditional women like Lulu Bean and Luke Caisley and other women. They want you to get in their emotions. When you get in their emotions, it's drama for them. They love drama because drama makes them feel alive. That's why sometimes women will incite drama to women that are toxic to get a response. They love it because it makes them feel loved and valued. But now Will Smith, guys, because he's been dethroned, he's going to be the laughing stock for the rest of the world. He got dethroned by resigning from the Oscars. He also got dethroned by being a simp for his wife. And that's why I told you guys, God first, your purpose second, and your woman comes last. When you put God first and your purpose second, you're always in balance. You're not off balance. Because if she ever leave you or want to be with another man, it doesn't bother you. You might be hurt, but you ain't going to trip about it because you're so intact as a man that you know what your worth is. And that's why I tell men to do that. And you're right, Clement Gray. She's a gutter rat. Are you surprised? Not at all. Not surprised at all. Not surprised at all.
Care about their families. Now, it's not just about you, right? It's not just about you, sir. What about?
It's not just about you, sir. But look how many men, guys, put their lives on the line. Look at how many men die. Look how many men go to war. But she wants a man to prove his love by her by making a fool of himself before the world to see, making a fool of himself before, the Oscars, where so many black people fought for years to get into the Oscars because they were discriminated against by some of the elites. But now he's supposed to make him show his love. The worst thing that Chris Rock Will Smith could have done is stood up and cussed Chris Rock out. That's the worst thing that he could have done. Or checked him in the back and let it be. Or just laughed at Jada and say, I'm not doing anything. Jada would have probably loved and respected him more if he had ignored her and checked her than more or less him standing up and socking the man in the face. But now Will Smith has been made the laughing stock of the world twice. And I'm telling you guys, a hopeless man is a broken man. And a broken man is very dangerous. And that's what Will Smith is. Will Smith is in a dangerous state, in a very dangerous predicament.
About your family, the people you create, the people that help you be who you are. That's important. That's what I think America forgot about.
What do you say to people who are critiquing him online right now?
Yeah, what you doing for your family? Who you protect?
Okay, by the way, what can we expect from?
Shout out to Rashad Malcolm Tillman for that $5 super sticker. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. And Tim Howard said, be a simp and get a used old box. Right. I can see Tim if you get a fresh woman, a younger woman, a woman that hadn't been ran through. But Tiffany's old, man. She's old. I mean, what is he getting in return? Nothing. He gonna get some old box. That's what he gonna get for losing his livelihood, his money, and his status. He's gonna get some old box. You're gonna get the throne guy for some old box that I'm sure multiple men have had. But you're supposed to defend that and show love to a woman like damn Tiffany Haddish. It's sad, guys. But some want you to defend the community. They want you to put your life on the line and wife up women like Tiffany Haddish, give your resources and your time to women that don't want to respect you and honor you and protect you as a man. Only get with women in America that are honorable, respectful, and have been conditioned to love you and respect you. If you get with a good woman like that, gentlemen, it's your responsibility to give those women love and attention back. You take care of good women that take care of you. You put your life on the line for good women that take care of you. You die for women that take care of you. You provide for good women that take care of you. You honor good women that love and take care of you, gentlemen. But you don't take care of women like Tiffany Haddish and Jada Pinkett Smith because they are the typical modern woman. Entitled, indifferent, they suffer from being deaf, and also they have narcissistic traits. So you don't feed women like Tiffany Haddish because it's going to cause you to suffer long term. Keep listening.
In the book, because we all want to read it.
What you think? I curse you with joy. What you think?
Now look at this guy. This is damaging. This is damning. This is very damning. Now watch this. I want you guys to let this marinate. I want you guys to let this marinate. A woman that you gave a ring to, because the ring to a woman is the greatest honor that you can give her. But I want you guys to let this marinate. Let it marinate, guys. A woman that you decided to die for, a woman that you decided to protect, a woman that you decided to give your life for, guys. Imagine if your woman said this: "You will never fully understand how deeply my heart feels for you. I worry that we'll grow apart and I end up losing you. You bring me to climax without sex." Oh my God, look at this, guys. "And you do it all with that regal grace. You are my heart and in human form." I'm going to say it again. Jada Pinkett is still dealing with the ghost of Tupac Shakur. A lot of the women in modern times, guys, have been imprinted by a lot of different men. Many times you're just getting the shell of the woman that she was. That's why I'm so against this liberalism as it relates to women just having a lot of fun. Because what are you giving that man in return? Remember this, in fair exchange, guys, there is no robbery. The fair exchange that men got about 50 to 100 years ago was a woman that was wife-ready, a woman that was raised traditionally in the South, in the church. She was spiritually sound. She had elders of women that held her accountable, a woman that was full of shame, a woman that won't ran through, a woman that didn't not have children. That's what men got years ago. But you're supposed to give your time, money, and resources to women like Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith is a typical modern American woman, white or black. White or black. It doesn't matter the race. White, black, Indian, Asian, Latin, or indifferent. But mostly white women and women of color, and some maybe Latino women. I would say Asians would be last because they're more traditional. But can you imagine, men already struggle with their women having a lot of fun. It already bothers a man's ego. But to find a letter that says, "You will never fully understand how deeply my heart feels for you. I worry, guys, that we will grow up or we'll grow apart and I end up losing you. You bring me to climax without sex and you do it all with regal grace. You are my heart in human form." And that's what happens when you're raised by women. That's what happens when you're devoid of true masculinity in the home. That's what happens when you're not a slave to what's called the gravy train simp. Because see, you got to be careful with some of these older men. These older men are gravy train simps. And they'll tell you, "Boy, it's okay, it's in the past, don't worry about it." But a true masculine father that has the spirit of a lion will tell you, you check that woman and you let her know if she bring anything up about another man in the past, her ass is toast. Literally that simple. You don't keep arguing with her, because what Jada Pinkett Smith did was highly disrespectful. Imagine if Will Smith, guys, was constantly going around Hollywood saying that Jada is not good in bed. Her box is not good. It's loose. You know, I don't get no enjoyment out of Jada. I want me a young, hot wife with tight body and tight breasts. Imagine Will Smith said that on the consistency. I want you guys to tell me what y'all think about this letter. Somebody tell me what y'all think about this letter, because this is very embarrassing. I want you guys to tell me what you think about this letter. Somebody write a quote, man or woman, and tell me what you guys think about this letter. This is why women should not lead and why the black community is in ruins. Yes, sir. Top Gun says she's expecting some disingenuous gentleman to worship the same thing that dudes from 54th and Crenshaw doing the garbage. Right. Right. I totally agree. It's not about black women either. It's not about black women. It's American women. This is an American woman issue. It ain't got nothing to do with black women. Sad that some of our people is part of it. But it's sad. It's really sad. And you're right. That heifer is a trip. You should never be loyal to disloyal women. You should never be loyal to dishonorable women. You should never be loyal to a woman that's not honor you and respect you as a man. You be loyal to a woman that honors you, respects you, and obeys you. That dirty word a lot of women don't like. But you never are honorable and loyal to a woman that's not honor you. Yes, Serenity, Nikki Serenity. He's in love. He's in love with her. But 2 decades of marriage don't mean nothing if you're in turmoil. But let me ask you a question, Nikki Serenity. How about her being loyal to him? See, it's a two-way thing. Teddy Pendergrass said it better than me. Teddy said it's so good to love somebody and somebody to love you back. But Will Smith is not getting love from Jada Pinkett Smith. He's getting turmoil and pain. He's a broken man. He's a hurt man. And so you shouldn't be loyal to bad women like Jada Pinkett Smith, because you guys are reinforcing negative and bad behavior. And Jamel of Scotland X said, who's buying a 74 Buick these days? Right. Nothing special about it, man. Nothing special about it. Nothing special at all. Unfortunately, the black woman matriarchal figures have a mortise lock grip on the black community over decades. Now black men have the skill to unlock the dusty lock and let the good men in. Yes. But Nikki Serena, how long have you been married? I don't know what you mean by that. I've been married for 26 years, if you may ask. Yeah, I've been married for 26 years, but trust and believe, sweetie, I would never deal with some of these chicks in this modern time. Jada Pinkett Smith will only have one time to disrespect me like that. I would have got rid of her ass a long time ago. Because Will Smith can get superior to Jada Pinkett Smith. I keep telling you guys that you are the prize catcher. Gentlemen, you are the prize catcher. Gentlemen, you are the prize catcher. If you can't find your wife here in America, if you can't find a cooperative woman here in America, work on yourself. Go to countries where the women are still virgins. Go to the countries where the women are still honorable. Go to the countries where women respect masculinity. Do not give your pearls to swine. And so you don't give your pearls to a woman like Jada Pinkett Smith. This man is in turmoil. This man is in turmoil over the love of a woman that clearly doesn't give a damn about him. The ghost of Tupac haunts Will forever. Yes. Yes, it haunts him forever. You're 1,000% correct. Jada keeps singing Diana Ross, I'm in love. I'm losing you to a shrine of Tupac in the basement. Yeah. Clever Grayson, that's what Tupac would have done. But then again, who knows? He's in the grave now because he was emotional. And his emotional action led to his death. Right. Men being simps and being damn too emotional. Masculine men don't get caught up in no foolishness, man. Masculine men love themselves. Masculine men love themselves. They love themselves. They respect themselves, and they don't tolerate disrespect. Harold Nesbitt, if you're watching, brother, yes, I did get that. So thank you, Harold. Thank you, Harold Nesbitt, if you're watching. Jamela Scotland next said, Will net worth is $350 million. Time to break bread and bounce. Yes, get rid of her. You get rid of a woman like that. Because I promise you, it will step this game up. It will say, fine, Jada, if you want to have fun, you want to keep disrespecting me in public, you want to keep disrespecting me about my sexuality. If you want to keep disrespecting me by bringing up Tupac, fine, baby. I'm going to let you go. Get you a younger, prettier woman, because Will is not a bad-looking dude. Get you a younger, prettier woman and tell her ass to exit left and keep it moving. Because watch this, guys. Your time on this earth is limited. You don't know when you're going to cross over to see your creator. And you will be a fool to keep dealing with a woman like Jada Pinkett Smith. You will be a fool. Listen, look at this, guys. You will never fully understand how my heart feels for you. I worried that we would grow apart and I would end up losing you. That's hurtful. That's very hurtful for a man. Jamel Scotland next said, imagine Will was having sex with Willow's friend, the country would be upside down. Yes, sir. I said the same thing. If Will Smith was having sex with one of Willow's friends that's in her 20s, and she was mentally disturbed, Will would have been thrown under the bus. But this middle-aged woman that's going through a midlife crisis gets to sleep with a boy that's mentally distressed, and everybody just calls it an entanglement. They didn't call it a pedophile. They just called it an entanglement. And it's sad. It is sad. It's very sad. Yes, sir. Men are the prize catchers. The prize catchers, Tim. We determine if she is the prize. Men are the prize catchers. And then, you know, wow, that's sad. Lavelle James said that Chris Rock is her ex too. That's wow. Yeah. Wow, man. This is crazy, man. Wow, that's sad, man. Someone should put a picture of Will against Jumbo the Elephant. Shout out to my man Top Gun. He said $5. So you brother, for your work, the serpent suffer is always trigger. You may proceed. Yeah, man, you know, that serpent suffer, man. Yeah. But what do you guys think about this, man? What would you men do if your woman had a letter professing her love for Tupac Shakur? What would you men do? Something to think about. Hold tight. And this is Willow. She's still, now look how damaging this is. Dear Tupac, this is what Willow said. Now, not only does she disrespect her husband herself, but his own daughter is disrespecting her dad. The man that brought her into this world, the man that gave her a voice, a place to stay, a man that given her the level that she's given. And look what Willow Smith said. She said, I know you are alive someplace. I think that my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back so mommy and me can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do love Willow. Look how, oh my God, guys. Are you guys seeing this foolishness? Are you guys seeing this foolishness? This is what this young girl is saying. A kid that's not even his. Willow Smith is being disrespectful to her father. Willow Smith is not protecting her father's inner sanctum. Willow Smith is not honoring her dad. The gospel say, children, obey, honor your father and your mother. Not your mother and your father, but honor thy father and thy mother. But look at this, guys. I know you're alive someplace. I think that mommy really misses you. Can you please come back and can you please come back so mommy and me can be happy? Look how they're disrespecting the wife is disrespecting him and also the daughter. And you're right, Neil Mo. She wasn't even born when this was written. Think about this, guys. Think about this. This woman and this man is being broken under scrutiny. Being broken under scrutiny because of this toxic woman. Guys, get this stream up, man. Let's get this stream up to 100 people or more. More people should be watching this stream because this is a good show. And I'm doing this show, guys, because I want to see you young men liberated. But thank you to the 55 that are watching. But let's get this stream up to 100 or more. Because that's the things that we're struggling with. We're struggling with this kind of behavior. We're struggling with this kind of behavior, guys. We're struggling. A lot of men are struggling. This is highly disrespectful. Based on the letters, guys, that y'all saw associated with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, what's your guys' stand on that? If your wife or woman is still talking about a man that she loved or professed her love for, what would you men do? What would you men do if your wives did what this woman is doing? Let's get the stream up to 100, guys. Share the content again. Shout out to Luke Casey for that $10 super sticker. Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear. And that is a deal, right? Thank you, Luke Casey. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal,
I appreciate that. Thank you, Luke Casey. And see, we need women like Luke Casey, a woman from a culture in South Africa, South America. We need women like Sweet Lulu Bean. We need women like the Elisa Del Rosarios and other sisters, you know, that are trying, you know. The Miss Parker back to basics, women that are trying, not perfect, but trying. We need women like that. Because see, guys, we live in a world now where women don't honor and respect their men. They don't honor their men, neither do they respect their men. And look at what this violent woman is saying. Look at what this violent woman is saying. I know that the daughter is saying, I know that you are alive someplace. I think mommy really misses you. Can you please come back so mommy and me can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do. Think about what that would do to your psyche as a man. Think about what that would do to your spirit as a man, because once again, Will Smith now have what's called poverty in thought, poverty in mind, and poverty in spirit. He that lacks discipline will bring himself to poverty and shame. He that lacks discipline will bring himself to poverty and shame. He that lacks discipline. You must be disciplined men. You must change the law in your mind. Shout out to Mr. Palmer. He that like discipline will bring himself to poverty and shame. And that's what Will Smith is dealing with. Shout out to Clement Gray for that $5 super sticker. He said that I'm kosher. I pray Will gets the true spiritual mental help he needs. Or we could wake up to an OJ situation at the hands of Will. And then what? Right. And to all the women that say, protect, unworthy women. Women are not worthy of protection. Men, you should only protect good, righteous women. You should only protect women that are honorable. You should only protect women that are respecting you as a man. You should only protect women that have your back and protecting your six. If she's not honoring you and respecting you as a man, then she's not worthy of your love and protection. If she's not honoring you and respecting you as a man, she's not worthy of your honor and protection, because that's bad behavior modification. You got a lot of walking zombies in the black community. You got a lot of ticking time bombs, like that man that took the life or deleted the life of those two baby mamas. Because a hopeless man is a broken man. A broken man is a dangerous man. A hopeless man is a broken man. A broken man is a dangerous man. Will Smith is dangerous because he's broken. And Will Smith's brokenness has turned to hopelessness because Will Smith, guys, has been dethroned. Look at the tears in his eyes. You see it. He's been dethroned. And when you become dethroned, sometimes you get a condition called depersonalization. Depersonalization is tied to trauma. It's normally what happens with people that have what's called dissociative personality disorders. But Will Smith is dealing with depersonalization. He's dealing with derealization. He's broken. He's been mocked and scorned by his wife and also his daughter. But imagine if Will Smith said the same thing to Jada Pinkett Smith. Imagine if Will Smith's son told one of Will Smith's ex-lovers that I wish you could come back. Daddy really misses you. They would have been thrown under the bus. And that's the hypocrisy, guys, that we have in this crazy world called America. Shout out to Golden Child. Hold tight. Shout out to Golden Child 325. I'll tell her to go find her man since she misses him so much. Yes, sir. I totally agree. I would do the same thing. Shout out to Snuggles. He said, is it even his daughter? In fact, that was done when she was a little girl and he allowed it. So who is to blame for the infraction? You're right. I agree with you, Snuggles. It's Will Smith's fault. He allowed it because Will Smith is an unconscious simp. Will Smith, guys, is an unconscious simp. You might say, what does that mean? Well, simple. He supplements irrational male patterns. Will Smith supplements irrational male patterns because Will Smith is an unconscious simp. He don't know how much power he has. He don't even know what his worth is. Will Smith will be better off getting rid of Jada Pinkett Smith, going abroad or focusing on himself, doing the shallow work, healing. And once he heals, if he decides to get another woman again, get him a foreign woman from a foreign country that understands and respects masculinity. A woman that's going to respect his ego and protect him as a man. Not the Tiffany Haddishes of the world or the Jada Pinkett Smiths, but a good woman that's going to love him. And women that take care of their men mentally, physically, and socially and sexually are worthy of protection, even up to the man putting his life on the line. But you want men to protect women like Jada Pinkett Smith. He stood up for his woman. But look what standing up for his woman called him. Look at how many men are in the grave right now because they stood up for their woman. You can't make this up, man. And you're right, Lavelle Robinson. If you don't protect your mind, you begin to lash out. Yes, sir. Lou Optic said that Will has nothing to lose. He will be categorized with the likes of Mel Gibson. Still a star, but can never command the room anymore. Right, sadly. Sadly. I totally agree. How you expect Will to respect Will when the mother doesn't respect him? Will's sisters need to get with Jada and protect her brother's mindset. Isn't that would be the other way around? Yes, sir. I totally agree. Luke Cage has said, he's like a fearful dog that bites when he's cornered. He seems to have been living a life of constant fear of abandonment and failure. Right. I'm going to do a show on it soon. And it's trauma by proxy or it's trauma by association. I'm going to do a show on it soon. I'm also going to do a show on the Gravy Train Simp. I'm going to do a show on the Gravy Train Simp. Because the Gravy Train Simp thinks that these modern relationships don't take work, only to become a slave of his own ignorance and end up looking like a hound dog because the woman's going to stress him out. And Will Smith don't get any help. Will Smith is going to age fast, and Will Smith is going to look like a hound dog. He's going to look out like one of those dogs on that Gravy Train bag back in the day. Will Smith is going to be a Gravy Train simp like a lot of these older men, thinking that women are going to change. And modern women are not going to change. They don't have no incentive to change. They have no incentive to change. Top Gun said that please don't advocate for the man to go abroad and mess up the ecosystem. It's better than other feminism spreading. We don't need Will to blank it up. I understand your point, Top Gun. But my logic is once he's been through simp intervention, then he can go over and get him a good woman. Only after he's been through interventions. But as of now, yeah, I agree. He ain't ready to go. I totally agree. He's not ready to go. He's not ready to go at all. All right, so hold tight. We're going to finish this stream. Hold tight, guys. All right. So, poverty and shame shall be to him that refuses instructions, but he that regardeth reproof shall be honored. And that's what men and women are needed now. They need reproof. Poverty and shame shall be to him that refuses instructions. How many men and women refuse instructions? But he that regardeth reproof will be honored. But Will Smith is not going to be honored now because he's broken. You know, Will Smith is going to need years of therapy, guys. Years. All right, hold tight. And this is what happens when you become broken. You become broken, painful, and tearful. And that's what Will Smith is dealing with. He's a broken man. He's broken beyond repair because he's dealing with a toxic woman like Jada Pinkett Smith. He's broken. Look at the tears in Will Smith's eyes, guys. Look at the brokenness in his eyes. Look at the brokenness in his face. That's a man that's crying because he knows his wife doesn't love him, but also he's dealing with his inner demons. Now,
I would just
say what you want to say about Candace Owens. You don't have to agree with everything Candace Owens say, but Candace Owens is an example of a traditional woman. Some call Candace Owens a coon. But say what you want to say about Candace Owens. She makes a lot of sense. You don't have to agree 100% with what she's saying, but she's a very logical woman. Listen to what Candace Owens is saying about this situation, and you judge for yourself.
First, like to offer just the decorum of Chris Rock in this. I promise you, I would be taken away in handcuffs. I promise you, if I was hosting a show and someone just kept on smacking, like how he kept this together and like just adjusted himself and kept going forward. I mean, that is peak class and professionalism, and it should be honored. I do also want to say that a lot of people thought this clip was fake. I think genuinely his reaction was so shocking that Chris Rock thought maybe he was joking with the smack. And then when he got back and started screaming at him, he realized this is real. Like he's actually reacting violently to a G.I. Jane joke.
Right. And you're right, because watching it this way is not the way that you see it on any social media or any platforms. You can't find that. That makes you see how real it looks like it is. But the joke, I mean, honestly, these are the people that make fun of conservatives all day long, say the most demeaning and horrible things about us. And I understand she has alopecia, and that's rough. I know people with alopecia. But the joke, in Hollywood terms, was like a 1 out of 10.
But did you know she had alopecia? Because I did not know she had alopecia.
No one knew it.
Like, unless you're in and watch.
And that's right. Chris Rock didn't know Jada Pinkett had alopecia. He didn't know. See, some thought that Chris Rock was mocking Jada Pinkett, but he was not mocking her. He did not know that Jada Pinkett had alopecia. He didn't know it. So when people say, well, he was laughing at her because she was bald-headed, no, he was not mocking her for that. He was just more or less talking about her haircut looks like G.I. Jane 2. It was a compliment, and it was a soft joke. But look at what that turned to. Look at what it turned to. His career's gone. His image is gone. His status is gone because he supplemented, like Ian Gray said, he's supplementing an irrational male pattern. And now he's going to suffer the recompense of his error.
watching her Red Table Talk, I guess, if you're very into entertainment, that might have been like a known fact, but I had no idea. Because Jada Pinkett has notoriously kept her hair low.
There's an irony, too, because there's a clip going around from the early 90s on the Arsenio Hall show. Will Smith made a joke about a bald guy with alopecia.
No.
Yes, and he had the same reaction that Chris Rock did. He said, it was just a joke. Come on, it's not a big deal. The thing about this, I feel bad for everyone involved, other than Jada Smith, because
Do you guys see the hypocrisy of Will Smith? But listen.
You can't do that in this world, man. You can't do that in this world, man. Arsenio, they got rules. They got rules. Like, he has a rule. The bass player, he got a rule. He got to wax his head every morning. That's a rule.
You see how he talked about this man. I don't know if this man got alopecia or not, but you guys see how he mocked this man, but you see how the man laughed it off. To the older generation, we remember a time where people got joked on, this part of all fun and games. We didn't trip. We didn't try to get people canceled. But Will Smith sounds like a hypocrite to some degree because he's mocking this bald head man. Whether he got alopecia or not, I don't know. But look at the hypocrisy, guys. Look at it.
He follows the rules, man. He follows the rules. Oh, these are jokes. Come on.
You guys see the hypocrisy. It's just a joke. You guys see the hypocrisy. You guys see the hypocrisy. You slap a man, you end up being dethroned, you lose your dignity with the Oscars and the Academy. And if you decide to lower your status even further, Jada's going to leave you. But you guys see it for yourself. You guys see it for yourself. Will Smith needs to be locked up and sued, get some mental treatment and anger management. Right.
See, you got too into the characters and got hurt. Wait, we got that commercial? How about the interview? We didn't do no interview. We just were being silly. Okay, we'll come back and we'll act like adults. Yeah, because my mom told me she wants me to do a good, proper interview. So we'll be right back. We'll be right.
By the way, I like the idea.
And that's what happens when you're not raised by masculine men. You heard what he said. He says, Mom said, I want you to do a good interview. Boys need their fathers to teach them how to ground their emotions. Mothers are nurturers, but sometimes mothers can over-nurture their sons. And many times mothers can cause their sons to have a condition called arrested development. And that's what happens a lot of times with these boys raised in homes where they don't have fathers. They become very emotional and very irrational because they're placed in predicaments where they have to protect when they shouldn't be protecting their moms. They should be allowed to be children. And that's what's happened to Will Smith and a lot of women, a lot of men.
Yeah. If you're at a restaurant or a bar and some guy insults your wife or your daughter or your mother, I'm not exactly the demure free speech absolutist that says you should sit down and take it. I like the idea that you go walk up and smack the guy in the face. The Founding Fathers, if you insulted their wife or their mother, the Founding Fathers wouldn't have sat down and said, well, we have perfect freedom of speech. They would have smacked him in the face and probably had a duel afterward. So I'm fine with that. The context here matters, though. The man is a comedian. He's a jester. His job is to tell jokes. The wife is not exactly Donna Reed. She's not sitting at home in her private life. She's a very public figure.
Overly.
Overly public, probably, opens herself up to this. And so in that context, if you can't sit down and take a joke, don't go to the Oscars.
Right. And even if you think the joke is crass, if you can't take down and take a joke, I mean, notoriously, obviously, Dave Chappelle made a joke, and it actually wasn't funny. He made a joke about me, and I didn't think it was funny. My husband didn't think it was funny, but the thing that I tweeted was that, comedy is a protected space. We understand this is what comedians do. They push boundaries. They say things, and sometimes it comes from a place of emotion. What Dave Chappelle said about me was 10 times worse than what he said about Jada. And I question whether or not he even knew about her alopecia, because as I said, to people that really follow every second of entertainment, they may have known that. I had no idea she had alopecia. She's always had short hair. Yeah. She's always looked like she could be going for the casting of G.I. Jane. So this would have gone over the head of tons of people, and it's no justification. And it was quite telling when you learned, because obviously he then won the Oscar, right. But you then learned that he didn't even apologize after until there was, this media outrage, and then he offered this apology on Instagram, which to me is kind of like, it's...
So let's look at it. Will said that violence in all forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at best last night, Academy Awards, was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I don't know why. It was just a joke. I would like to apologize publicly to you. I would like to publicly apologize to Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of who I am as a man who I want to be. I also would like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, and all the attendants and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and King Richard's family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what had been an otherwise gorgeous journey for us all. I'm a work in progress. And once again, that's a broken man. That's a broken man. But you're right, Iron Grace. Will was laughing too. She made that attack dog at him, and he got up and popped Chris Rock in the mouth.
It's a half-ass apology, as my mother would say growing up. Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. That's fundamentally not true because you laughed first, right? Yeah. So this is sort of the apology of like, oh man, if I still want to get cast, I need to offer this public apology. I'm going to write it on Instagram. You know, if he was actually sorry about the way he reacted, that would have been a man-to-man apology face-to-face at the Oscars after party, as Diddy had suggested was going to happen, but he wasn't sorry.
No, instead he was getting jiggy with it on the dance floor all night. Everyone saw it. And what about Venus?
You guys see the hypocrisy. You guys see the hypocrisy. Shout out to Chris on Top Gun. He said that joke was the joke was about alopecia as much as kneeling was about disrespect to veterans. It's dangerous how narratives can get created and defended. Right. I totally agree, Top Gun. Thank you, sir. You're 1,000% correct. Thank you, sir.
And Serena Williams and their father. This movie is...
And you saw Will getting jiggy with it. After he disrespected that man, that didn't show any forms of contrition. Just a standard to say by his publicist, this for what's called damage control. But was Will Smith truly sorry if he's getting jiggy with it at the Oscars? And that's unfortunate because Chris Rock didn't deserve to get popped in his mouth like that. That was a soft joke. The worst that Will Smith could have done to Chris Rock, in my opinion, was maybe stand up and curse him out. But the truth remains, he should have checked his wife a long time ago. A woman that disrespects him and dishonors him on a consistent basis.
You know, was there to make them celebrate their life and their accomplishments.
And that's the difference, guys. The traditional woman versus the conservative woman. I mean, the traditional woman versus the modern woman. The traditional feminine woman, black or white, has a level of demure about herself. But the modern liberal woman has a smugness. Look how smug she is. The arrogance, the Holy Spirit. But this woman has a spirit of humility, a spirit of grace. And that's what every man yearns for. Every man that's listening wants a traditional, genuine woman that honors and loves and respects him as a man. Not a woman like this that has a Jezebel spirit that's going to be challenging him on every hand. Keep listening. Now, this was a show that I did a couple of days ago, and I got heated. So I warned you guys, I got lit in this show. I was talking junk. And I normally don't get out of character, but I'm very passionate. And I always tell people, don't let my profession fool you. But many men need to be degreased. Many men need to be degreased. And degrees in the clinical world stands for behavior modification. I was on the Anton Daniels morning show, and Jay Speed and I did apologize to one another. We chopped it up. I told him I apologize, but I told him, don't ever get my profession crazy. Or don't get my profession, think because of my profession, I'm some kind of sucker or I'm a chump. I'm not a chump at all. I respect all men, but I bow to none. But like Harriet Tubman said, she said I could have freed a lot more if they didn't already know that they were slaves. And a lot of men are byproduct of a word that I created called gravy train simping. And just like the term gravy train as it relates to money, many men think modern women and modern relationships going to be like a gravy train. They think it's going to be like a gravy train that's not going to cost them anything, and that they're going to be able to corral some of these wicked women into submission. And you're not going to. You're going to lose money, you're going to lose time, and you're going to lose resources. In the end, you're going to look like a hound dog. So check this out real quick.
Simon says it's the sentiment that many have established in their minds as it relates to them being victims of their own peril, but also victims of their own pathologies as it relates to the social conditioning of many black men in America, but also Paris variations such as racism. The Degrees series was a series that I started that was based on thinking errors, but also of cognitive modification that's needed to change outcomes that can help black men become the best version of themselves. Degrees was more or less a collaboration and a respect for my dear friend Al Greaves, as Al Greaves and I talked about his movie that he did, Frustrated 1, 2, and soon to be Frustrated 3. But before a man can be degreased, he got to stop listening to the copycat sentiment of Simon and understanding that the first 3 steps to manhood is assimilation. Assimilation basically means when you take things that you more or less had in your past or more or less part of your culture and add it into your mind in order to change the current state of mind that you're in. The second stage of mud management and becoming a man is called accommodation. Accommodation more or less says that when a man is more or less on his purpose and when a man is on his grind, he must set aside previous negative thoughts, set aside previous convictions that he thought they could help him get to his next level, and learn how to accommodate in order to more or less integrate into a culture that sometimes does not always accommodate him. You know and I know that black men and women in America many times have not always been accommodated. But accommodation is not necessarily the excuse that many should use to stop them from being the best version of themselves. And the last step to mud management and becoming a man is adaptation. Adaptation is when you more or less have assimilated yourself into a culture. Accommodation is when you put aside things or more or less those things that you more or less held that was necessary inside your culture. And adapting is the process of cognitive restructuring that's necessary to help you move forward to becoming a man. Mud management is something that all men must go through in order to become the best version of themselves. But as Anton Daniels talk about, as we challenge him, he's going to talk about the Victim Olympics and how he had to go through these 3 stages of assimilation, accommodation, and adaptation, and not let.
All right. So this is a debate that I had with Jay Speed. I got out of character, but Jay Speed and I did come to a respect at the end. But you men need to be degrees. Some of you, especially some of these boomers, are still thinking that modern women are like your mothers and your grandmothers, and they're not. And I think this was the issue with Jay Speed. You know, he said that we had an accusatory spirit. But we're not accusing anything. We're saying that in order for men to get their best needs met, and more or less to demand respect, they can't be gravy trained simps. So keep listening.
If you have, you say a soft target, my brother, I know you using them clinical words and bullshit. Let me tell you something.
They don't bullshit, dog. It ain't no damn bullshit. It's not bullshit. So no. First of all, what you gonna do? What you gonna do to respect me as a man?
You can go in on me.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Okay,
see, that's the problem.
You can go in on. It's a bunch of bullshit.
You got old stuff. Yeah, they don't know what you're doing.
But I do want to make sure that I get back on subject. Kosher.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that this is a good representation as far as what happened at the Oscars? Do you think that this is a bad look on an individual level, or do you think that this is a bad look for a community?
It's a bad look, in my opinion, on all levels, because so many people fought very hard to more or less. Black people have been fighting to get a level of respect with the Oscars. My wife's friend, she's a producer in New York, and they fought so hard to get a place within the Oscars to get the level of credibility that they never got before in the past. And so for Will Smith to have this epic breakdown was a bad look, not only for the black people that were the forerunners that more or less paved the way for black folks to have a space in the Oscars, but also it was a bad look as it more or less reverberated what some assume is violence and black men being predators. What Will Smith did, once again, was a man out of his control. From a clinical perspective, it was definitely displaced aggression. And it's that mental rumination that Will Smith has been dealing with over a period of time. What Will Smith did to Jada Pinkett once again was he took his anger out on Chris Rock because he was a soft target. And he was a soft target because he wouldn't have done it to Michael Jai White. He wouldn't have done it to any other man. But Chris Rock was a safe target because Will Smith is not the man in that relationship. And he loved his wife more than he loved himself.
And that's what I kept talking about earlier, guys. You can't love your woman more than you love yourself. You can't. You can't love your woman more than you love yourself as a man. Women too. You can't love your woman more than you love yourself as a man.
And it happens all the time. Black men will be fools to put their lives online for a woman that's not protecting him. How is she protecting his ego as a man? She's not protecting his ego. She's violating his ego. She's violating his inner sanctum as a man. That's why he was so emotional. And can you imagine, Anton, that you build your legacy up, you build your empire, and because you're not balanced as a man, you act irrationally to defend your wife's honor. It's one thing to defend your wife's honor if she's a good woman. I know your wife is a good woman. But you don't defend a woman that's rebellious, disobedient, talking about her ex-lovers and all of that over some damn alopecia. He didn't even know the woman had alopecia. That's what the problem is. He didn't know. It was just a basic joke. So I'm not going to defend a woman that's not honoring my ego as a man. If she's not honoring my ego as a man, if she's not respecting me as a man, if she's not protecting me mentally, then damn it, I'm not going to protect her physically. And I don't care what nobody say about it.
Let me ask you a question, OG. Let me ask you a follow-up.
Rabbit ass mind, man. You ain't got to ask me a question. Let me get this in here. I don't care damn how bad my mom might be out there in the world. All right? See, we just want to talk about, I told you it's much bigger than just a girlfriend or whatever, a wife or whatever. I don't care how bad.
And see, guys, that's gravy train simping. That's the old heads, They think that, women are like their mothers and the women of the 50s and the 40s. But modern women are not like those women. And even back then, you don't defend bad and dishonorable behavior. But so many men have not been raised in homes where they saw masculine fathers that they think that even their mothers have bad behaviors is justified.
That we as my family members look at some of the bad behavior of my mom might do. I'd be damned if I'm gonna walk the street and she was alive and let somebody disrespect her just because she got some bad behavior. And see, this is what I'm just saying is, y'all have got this accusing spirit that you want to carry all this back about her behavior. This was an event, all right? That was an event. Some shit happened. Some shit happened that this
damn elders, not enough elders, man.
Right. They're on the
too
old
many
lady
elders
train where they tell
like
the young man, to value her honor. But you don't value honor as it relates to bad behavior because it's bad behavior. That's not good behavior modification. You do not reward bad behavior. But see, he's one of the old OGs. He's still, eating cornflakes and from the old school talking about, you reward women that damn exhibit bad behavior. And then you're going to try to sell me. See, I'm the kind of person like this, Anton. That's that Leo fire that you seen. I don't disrespect nobody, but when your damn mouth gets fire, you can get this work. I don't care who it is. Yes, I'm a licensed therapist, but I'm a man first. And what I'm saying is that that's the problem with so many young people now, the young men now. They don't have the proper guidance because the older generation of men are still on that old gravy train stuff. They're still on that old gravy train stuff where they say, love your woman, protect your woman, but at the same damn time, you don't hold her accountable. You can't reward bad behavior. It's horrible. That's why these young men are not getting the results they want to get now, because of the bad behavior. And so I know what I'm talking about. I went to the UNC Chapel. I went to one of the best schools in the country, representing my heels now with this.
Every wise woman builds her house, but once again, a foolish woman damn tears it down. And this was a perfect montage, guys. I put a lot of time and energy into this show. And D, I think he's working with some older people. I guess he works in a group home. But I'm going to drop the link, and I want the guys to come up. We're going to chop it up. Call in. I'm going to have it so, guys, in the future, you guys can call in live on your phones if you're working. And I got to get the Google number. So thank you, Mr. Ruckers. I appreciate it, man. I put a lot of time in that clip. Thank you guys for supporting me as well. To the ones that have not donated, if you don't have any money, just share this stream. To the 61 people that are watching, share this stream. I did a lot of research and time. Hopefully one day I'll get to the point where I can have thousands of people watching too, because I put a lot of time into these shows. But I'm grateful to the 62 that are watching. I'm grateful to the 62 that are watching. But in the meantime, we're going to call in and we're going to have a conversation. And hopefully tonight we will have the Angry Man coming on, popping in. We're going to chop it up. Right before my Tar Heels play Duke in the Final Four. So what do you guys think about the gravy train simp? The gravy train simp is a new term that I created. What do you guys, yeah, Snuggles, drop the link. Yeah, the link has been dropped, Snuggles. You funny. What do you guys think about the disrespect of Jada Pinkett Smith and all? Let's have a conversation for these next 3 minutes. Men or women can cam up. If I do not know you, you got to cam up. If I don't know you, you have to cam up. If I don't know you, you have to cam up. If I know you, then it's okay to be in obscurity. But what do you guys think about Will Smith and him being dethroned? Because Will Smith has been dethroned. And he's been dethroned because, once again, he loves Jada Pinkett Smith more than he loves himself as a man. Will Smith has been dethroned because he loves Jada Pinkett Smith more than he loves himself as a man. What do you guys think about this show? What do you guys think about Will Smith as it relates to heteronormative masculinity? Should men protect women that do not honor and respect them as men? Should men protect women that talk about their exes and talk about their sexual performance? Should men or any men give their time, money, and resources to a community that does not honor and respect masculinity at all? Because Mother's Day is about to happen. On Mother's Day, the women more or less talks about Mother's Day. But on Father's Day, there are still some women that try to sabotage that holiday that's made for men and say that they're a mother and a father. But you don't see other ethnic groups of women doing that. You don't see it. But sadly, a percentage, and shout out to the good sisters that don't do this foolishness, a percentage of sisters, a percentage of women in our community, not saying all, but a percentage, do actually personify these kind of negative behaviors. And they take the honor from a man on Father's Day and they'll sell it unto themselves. But they're the ones that got with Dusty Men. They're the ones that got with Raekwon the Man, the corporate thug. Because there's some corporate thugs too that are getting these women pregnant. Don't think it's all inner city men. Some of it is corporate men too. Some of these corporate men are getting these women pregnant and leaving their kids. But at the end of the day, women are the gatekeepers to sex. Men are the gatekeepers to relationship. And so let's sign in, guys. The link has been dropped. Let's have a conversation because I got to get ready for the show on tonight at 7 o'clock. This has been a great stream. It took me some hours to put that together last night, but I'm honored. I really respect what you guys do, the Tim Howards of the world and all. So shout out to my man G Money, and shout out to my man Asher Ajoj. I think I said his name right. But
Yes.
So I'm close. So what do you guys think about this whole fiasco with Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, and how it's more or less impacted the image of black men and their sustainability? Starting with G Money first, and then Asher. Go ahead.
Hey, first off, how you doing, Coach Commissioner? I would cam up, but I'm out and about.
No, you're fine, brother.
But this is just craziness. This is just foolery on the highest level. At the Oscars, you're gonna behave like that,
right?
Over a joke, and it's a comedian's job to tell a joke. That's his job, you know. And it's just insane what's the mentality of some of our men, how they pedestalize these women that don't have any respect for them.
Right.
You know, for the last 2-3 years, all we heard from Jada Pinkett Smith is like this is disrespect for her husband in the public eye. You know, yeah, they may have an open marriage. There's rumors they may have an open marriage, but when has anyone heard any like Will's messiness coming about for the whole public to see if he's even messing around with other women?
Right.
You don't even know that. You know, she's putting her dysfunction on display for the whole world to see.
I totally agree, man. I totally agree.
You know, and I don't know if he doesn't leave her, I fear the worst is going to happen.
I totally agree.
You might see something on the news like similar to that guy you were just talking about, where he took out his 2 baby mothers. You know? I just have to laugh at that clip we showed from Anton Daniels that sip.
Yeah, gravy train sipping. I'm gonna do a show on that. Gravy train sipping, man. That's what that is, damn. Gravy train.
The interesting thing is, there's a lot of men think like, a lot of men are blue pill like that. They just think like that. And
right.
you know, that's what you got to fight against too.
Right.
You got to fight against the toxic black men hating feminists and their supporters.
Right.
You know, and it's just crazy, man. And Will Smith had to ask himself, was it all worth it? You know, he had to resign from the academy. I don't even understand what that means. I had to go on Facebook on Keeping 100's page and, you know, ask what that means. You know, and you know, people were saying that, you know, he'll probably be disinvited from going to any of these events, and the worst case scenario, he may not be able to act anymore. Was it worth it? Was it worth it?
It wasn't worth it. And that's why I keep telling men over and over again, G Money. So many men have gone by the way of the grave. So many have lost their livelihood. So many are still in jail trying to honor a woman that's not worthy of being protected. Will Smith has been dethroned because he put a woman needs above his own needs. And that's why I keep telling men, you have to fortify your mind. Mr. Palmer said you got to change the law in your mind. Once you change the law in your mind and see women for what they are, it does not mean you hate them, but you got to understand that women are human too. You love women within reason, but you never love a woman more than you love yourself. And sadly, that's what Will Smith did. And now he's about to suffer the recompense of his error because of displaced aggression. Let me read out this super sticker for MC Recovery and Wellness. He said, I want the camera, but I got to take pictures at the Compton Mayor Wellness Day. But I appreciate this brother's always supporting me. Shout out to MC Wellness and Recovery for that $10 super sticker. And also shout out to him again. He said that I spoke on the displaced anger being hidden from Will Smith. His piece is gone. Yes, sir. I agree with you 1,000%. Anything else you would like to add, G Money, real quick?
Man, that's pretty much all I gotta say, man.
Okay.
I just hope that this is a lesson for men, particularly like black men, because I see a lot of comments on both sides. You know, you got those same toxic women that are supporting this and saying that's how you should go out and act as a man, and then you see the other group, you know, which are both, you know, men and women, you know, on both sides that are saying that, you know, it was kind of deplorable what he did, his behavior was unacceptable, and what makes me happy is that there's not a full-on support for the buffoonery.
Right.
You know, there's kind of I don't want to say, I can't quantitatively, you know, measure the responses on both sides, but you see a strong support for men acting like the way they're supposed to act. You know,
right.
Logical, with reasoning. All that stuff is primitive. It's the stereotype of the big black group. You know that stereotype, right?
Right.
You know that's not how a man should act. He was not in immediate danger. You know, he said a joke, and that's his job to tell jokes. He's a comedian. That's his job. I don't think the joke was out of taste. You know, no one knew that she had alopecia. No one knew. You know? I mean, unless you're following them and you're just all up in their backstory in their life. I mean, how is anyone supposed to know that?
No,
did you know?
I didn't know either. I just thought it was a regular haircut.
Yeah. So,
right.
I don't know, man. That's all I wanted to add to this. I'm probably jump off. You know, it's a great stream as always, man.
No, I appreciate it, brother.
just gotta laugh at that dude. But how do you even have conversations with guys like that, man?
Well, you know, he apologized. We both apologized. I didn't know it. You know, I didn't know it was gonna get like that. But you know, I'm the kind of person. If you take me there, man, you know, I might end up snapping, man. So I just snapped, man. You know, I didn't mean for it to get like that, but I did snap. But you know, he realized that I wasn't playing, and he respected me, and I respected him, and we just left it alone. But I don't like to get out of character like that. But I don't tolerate disrespect, man.
But
I just
sometimes
don't.
you
Right.
sometimes you got to meet them at their level to some extent because these
Mm-hmm.
guys like to get violent too.
Right.
So you gotta show them that you're not a punk.
Right. Hey, Sir Pookie Truth, do me a favor, brother. You can cam up. I don't know you, so if you can let me see you in the back for a minute before I bring you on, Sir Pookie Truth. I don't mind you coming up. I want to hear your perspective, but I need you to cam up because I can't see you. So come up. Yeah, there you go, brother. How you doing, brother? All right. Go ahead, Ian. What's your take on the whole scenario, man?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, it's clear, that basically Will Smith is under the mental control of his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that's a cult. It's a cultural phenomenon where we're indoctrinated as youth, under our mothers, either via feminism, whether she was in feminism, whether she was a single mother, we are trained, right, to be at her beck and call, right, to defend her honor, and even before we are trained to be on purpose, before we are trained to respect and honor other men, we are trained to be attack dogs for her.
Right. I totally agree. What do you think is causing this pathology with Will Smith, in your opinion? And do you think he's going to recover from it? Ian, can't hear you. Asher, go ahead, man. I think Ian froze.
Yeah, thanks, Kosher. I don't know if you remember, a few weeks back, you and I had a little chat, and you were talking about maybe we should burn it all down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the first step about burning it down.
Mm-hmm.
We, in a way, we want to redeem Will Smith, but if we work hard enough to redeem him, we are empowering the women more because they feel like Jada was being protected. Now, if Jada is not within Will Smith's territory, how can he protect her?
Mm-hmm.
The lion does not necessarily protect the bride, he protects its territory. So if the lioness wants to step out of the territory, that lion is going to go, wait a minute, I can't extend my energy and my resources to go that far.
Right.
So Will Smith, I see this as a first step of let it burn down. Unfortunately, the whole community now has to pay a price.
Right.
We're talking about this as if this is just about Will Smith. It's not about Will Smith.
Right.
It's a representation of us all as men and black men in particular. If it had been a white man that did it, the world would be, he would have been walked out of there, no questions asked.
I agree.
But because it's me, and as a black man, we don't want to ruffle his feather, and we expect him to do it. We expect a black man to do that.
Right. No, I totally agree, Asher, and it's unfortunate, man, because you're from Nigeria, I believe. Do you see this kind of behavior that you see in America, in your native country of Nigeria? How are Nigerian men different in managing their community and their women overall? We know that Nigerians being influenced by feminism too, but how is Nigeria different in how they manage their women and their communities compared to American men, white or black?
I am from the older generation. I'm in your age group, Kusha, so I don't know a little bit about the younger men. But the women knew to check themselves. The women will not put their men in a position to act the fool. At no point. And if something like this happens, trust me, it will not be addressed in the presence of the woman.
Mm-hmm.
The two men, Will and Chris, will go up, either talk it out within themselves, or they will have a council of men that they will talk it out from.
Right. No, I totally agree. James S., I need you to do me a favor, but I need you to cam up in the back before you come on. Some of you guys, I don't know you, so I don't mind you coming up sharing your points, but I need you guys to cam up before you come up. I need to see you before you come on. I know some of you guys are at work, but I need you to cam up. So, James, I want to hear your perspective, but I need you to cam up in the back for me, and then I'll bring you on. Okay, James? I appreciate it. Yeah, but go ahead, Ash. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
The big challenge that we've got to face now is what price are we willing to pay to protect what belongs to us?
Right.
Are we willing to prune? And pruning can lead to burning the whole vineyard down because it's not giving you the result that you want.
Right.
I know you recommend, hey, if you're not getting what you want here, burn up yourself and go to a different place to find what you want. Yes. Are we willing to prune to that extent? Are we willing to burn down this vineyard that we hold there? And if we don't control this vineyard very well, can we bring an outsider in?
Right.
To come occupy the vineyard that we've not controlled very well, that has been overgrown with weeds.
Right.
This is a classic example of Will and us men, and I include myself because I still have some work to do, that we've allowed simplification.
Right.
By our mothers, our sisters, our society, we've allowed it to eat us so much that we don't even know how to protect. We just think protection is sticking out my chest. Hell no, it's not sticking out my chest for you.
Right. Protection sometimes means checking her for bad behavior. That's what protection means.
You are so right. And I will let you suffer the consequences of your bad behavior. Trust me, just like a child gets to a point where you let that child suffer the consequences of his or her bad behavior.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
And we're not willing to let each other suffer the consequences of our bad behavior. It's not my woman's place to check me. She's supposed to give me a caution flag. She doesn't know what I'm thinking. All she needs to do is, hey, here's a caution flag for what I think you are going to do. It's not a control. She is not my red line. She's not my green light.
Right. Your job is to love your wife, but also to keep order and balance in the home. Sir Pookie Truth, how would you like to add to the conversation, sir?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, it's a complex situation, but yeah, this is just a problem with the society basically where males have to go out and be attack dogs. So that's very concerning. Either way, whether the situation is real or fake, I think just in general that it's just a bad look either way around. So
right.
It's just real goofy. Like I don't understand how people can justify like him walking up on stage and assaulting that man. Like that's still assault at the end of the day. I understand. It's like people will condemn assault and criminal activity for one person in one situation, but in another situation they'll justify it on the other end and try to make sense on why it's like.
Right.
You can even litigate it, but yeah, that's it.
Right. What's your take? You're a young man. You sound like you're young. You're about 25 to 30. You might be younger than that. But as a young man that's trying to get a quality woman, what percentage, young man, would you say a wife worthy or wife ready in your opinion? When you think about modern women, what percentage, Sir Pookie Truth, would you say is wife ready or wife worthy in your opinion?
You said, okay, so my generation?
Yes, sir. Are you a millennial or
Z?
Z,
because I'm 20 right now.
Oh, you're a baby.
So, I would say probably we talk about probably less than 10%
Right,
for
and
sure.
so you're right, and so that's troubling where so many men from this random sample are saying from their own anecdotal experience, and we know it's a small sample size, that most women, only 10% are worth worthy, wife ready, and are worthy of being protected. But you got some people, Sir Pookie Troop, that believe that black men should be the cleanup men, white men should be the cleanup men, because this is not a black condition, this is a Western issue.
I know.
White men and black men are going through this. Latin men and also some Asian men. I would say it's mostly white and black men and then Latin men. But they yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that yeah, they want to start with us, but they want to get everybody involved. Let's just be very clear about this. If we look at the way the policy and the legislation is heading, it's not specifically denominated towards black males. It's just males in general.
It's males in general, right?
Yeah,
the
only thing that's saving the other demographics is their institutions of traditionalism. But all that's being deconstructed as we talk. So
No,
it is what it is.
I totally agree, man. And my heart goes out to you. As a young man, what are the solutions, man? What do you? Well, actually, hold tight, guys, because this is that part of the show that I forgot to bring in. So hold tight. So this is the part of the show that we're going to do this.
This is the part of the show where we find solutions.
So what are the solutions, Sir Pookie Troop? And then we're going to have James S. Break it down. What are the solutions moving forward? Did you hear me, Sir Pookie Troop?
Oh, you talking to me? Okay.
Yes, sir. What are the solutions in your opinion?
Okay, solutions. Legislation changes. First of all, you definitely gotta hit those. You gotta hit those child support laws. You gotta hit Title IX. I mean, you need federal level adjustment on policy. That would be a good start. And then I guess re-education classes for people who want to be involved in I guess the union of marriage, re-education classes from experienced couples. You know what I'm saying? We could pull these people from like Kevin Samuels, Tommy Sotomayor. These people are in the manosphere. You know what I'm saying? We have um another thing I think that'll help is beyond re-education in terms of like actual spousal ability, re-education on in terms of the actual history on how these policies came to be even come into place and came into being back in the 70s and 80s. I think that'll change perspective on the conversation. We really need to push that narrative out there to get narrative perspective change in terms of that, because that's really the main thing that kills us. Because whenever we bring up these stats and these studies, is that we can't get anybody to validate or verify this stuff because they never heard of it. So that's why you need these re-education courses so that can start happening.
James S., what's your take on this Will Smith, Jada Smith fiasco, and what are the solutions moving forward in your opinion?
Thank you for having me on, sir. Long time follower, big time listener.
No doubt.
I personally think the fiasco, the damage is done.
Right. The damage is done. I agree. I totally agree.
And Will Smith, he values her more than he values himself in the body of work he's done. So psychologically, to rip him from that grip is going to be almost damn near impossible. I think for any men that are in the situation or currently dealing with a situation like that, Will Smith has given you the warning signs of what happens when a man's mind is gone.
Right.
Self-destruction. And mind you, if you think about it, the award that Will Smith would have received would have put him as a deity. I mean, Denzel Washington, I mean, I don't know many black men outside was it Sidney Poitier, Denzel, and him who have received that elite club of Oscar winning. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. And the reason why I bring that up is that the man didn't realize that he was pretty much going to be on Mount Rushmore. And when you don't realize the value that you bring to this world, it shows how the lack of love and respect that you have for yourself and these are the things I think many brothers face on an ongoing basis. The other thing I will add is that for men who are dealing with women such as Miss Pinkett, understand that situation has, and I've said this before, that there have probably been people off record who have pulled Will Smith aside and said, "You need to walk away from this woman."
Right.
Because we can't just say that this is just a tabletop and the open marriage. There's much more. There's much more. The man's probably been emasculated since probably, and I mean, I think I saw something where he said he had like a weird envy or jealousy of a man of Tupac.
Man.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And yeah, and when you hear, and this again, not to take up too much of the wind space, brothers, when you start speaking that language, you really need to actually seek help, not one, but two, self-evaluate yourself.
Right.
Because, and then correct me if I'm wrong, Doc, even the Bible talks about how dangerous jealousy is.
Right. It's as cruel as the grave.
Exactly. And for a man that is young and to display these behaviors and continue to display these behaviors just shows you the path of destruction that, you know what I'm saying, that can lead any man, not just Will. I mean, I could tell you working at a facility, there's, 60% of those men and a lot of those brothers are in there for false accusations. And once, once that's on your record, it's over.
It's over, right.
Now, solutions. It is very tough to say, for me, and I'm just being honest as a millennial. It's tough to talk about solutions when you have the machine called social media.
Right.
For those brothers who are in situations that are healthy and productive, make sure the best solution, make sure the world knows. Not to be, overtly public, but, display that amongst your children, display it amongst your family, display it amongst your friends, how important a cohesive, healthy relationship is, and the fact that you have a woman that respects you as a man, and vice versa for women. If you have a man that is worthy, respectful, and I'm very careful about the whole worthiness, because again, women have their own identities of what they feel is, or what they miscue as worthy. But a man that is who is producing and providing and has the best interest of the family first.
Right.
You need to acknowledge that. And one thing I'll say, this is one solution. A lot of sisters need to stop listening to women or watch images of women that are unproductive and very disgraceful.
Tiffany Haddish. Yes.
Like, thank you, Poogie. The Tiffany Haddish of the world. I can go on. There's so many that fall in that category. And stop idolizing them. Stop promoting them. These are the things that are very toxic. And I'm going to tell you right now, the more you hold on to those type of women, the more you see what we saw on TV, how basically Jada Pinkett didn't care. For the simple fact that after Chris Rock was slapped, and she laughed.
She laughed, right.
She literally laughed. And I was just, what, one thing about video, once it's captured, it can't be edited, right?
It can't be edited, right.
The fact that someone was able to capture that, and it actually identifies what many brothers who felt and saw with it from one angle can tell you that those type of women are the ones that should be. I mean, we have in our community, we have to learn the importance of shame and shame them well.
Right.
And
the world today is devoid of shame. And I'm going to ask you this question, James. I apologize for coming across you.
No, go ahead, brother.
You are a millennial. You're a millennial. My heart goes out to you. You sound like you're from Brooklyn up top. But what percentage of women, in your opinion, young man, did you feel a wife worthy, wife ready, and then a chase? What percentage do you feel a wife worthy, wife ready, chase, and don't have a bunch of kids by different men? What percentage?
I mean, I could tell you straight up, man, that, and quite frank, that shit's like less than 5%.
Oh my God.
And
that's
I'm
right.
Yeah, I'm just
Wow.
being honest because I don't have any children.
Right.
And I could tell you just from the things that I've gone through personally as a man.
Talk
Like
about it.
the
Talk about it.
perfect example. A couple years back, I was with a woman off and on. We went to a gala. Well dressed. Everything was smooth. Next thing you know, she got a little too intoxicated. Tried to do the responsible thing to pull off from the dance floor because she was getting a little provocative. Next, you know, that split personality kick, the true personality. I'm not going to say it's a split personality. I'm going to say the true personality came out. Then it became a situation where it's flirtatious with other men. Then it became like, you know, F you can't tell me what to do. And then it got to a point this girl made out with another brother right next to me at the bar. And that was more at a very close friend's private party event. And that was that split moment when, you know, I think like every man goes through it, the violence once and the rage kicks in, right?
Right, right.
And then I honestly believe because I'm a little older, right, and a little bit more seasoned, that told me to basically walk away. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that a woman, after multiple times that was spoken to respectfully, even a woman within our circle pulled that woman to tell her to calm down. That just shows you that this Xena warrior princess lifestyle. I'll show you how crazy women can behave with no
Right.
justification.
No justification. Right.
And that's the real issue, right? You have a lot of these sisters, and you know, Poogie's way younger than me. I could tell you the behaviors have no justification. That's the head scratcher. And this is why I tell, you know, a lot of sisters in this day and age, they don't even realize how much progress brothers have made.
Right.
Like that old narrative, like, oh, he ain't this, or they all in prison. And I could tell you, I work in those facilities. There are I could tell you, Pookie's generation is not in the environment to be encouraged to go to jail. Because they just have a different circumstances. It just shows you the world's evolved, but a lot of those systems don't think that's evolved. It's easier to hold on to pain than glory. And I think that's what a lot of sisters like.
And I think it's gotten to the point, man, that, you know, a lot of men are becoming frustrated. You know, Al Grease is from New York. He did Frustrated 1, 2. I'm going to be in Frustrated 3.
Yep, I remember that when it first came out.
Right. I'm going to be in Frustrated 3 with Al Grease. Al Grease is saying the same thing. You know, I'm a licensed therapist, and I started this journey back in 2009. And I did it with the intentions to empower men from a genuine heart. And my heart goes out to a lot of these young men. My heart goes out to them. And my heart goes out to them because there's so many men that really want love and respect in the relationship. And that's why one of the reasons why I advocate for men to travel abroad. I think the likelihood of a man finding an honorable woman is better abroad than it is within the confines of America. And that's why I tell men, if you can't find your wife here because the percentage is so low, focus on yourself and travel abroad, because there are plenty of women from other countries. You know, you can find virgins still in South Africa. You can find traditional chaste women or better women that are more traditional in other countries, man. And that's what I tell men to do. What's your prospect on dating? Yeah, go ahead, Asher. Go ahead, Asher.
I know you advocate, and majority of the men in the Black manosphere advocate for going abroad to find a woman. Again, remember the analogy that I put out there. This vineyard might need to be destroyed, might need to be burnt down.
Right. I see your point. Right.
Now, if you go abroad and you find a virtuous woman and you bring her to this vineyard that's full of corrupted older women, they will corrupt her.
It's possible, but I know women. You're right. In theory, you're correct. In theory, you're correct.
No. Coach, I'm going to disagree with you with all due respect.
Right.
Older women train the younger women to be disrespectful.
I mean, Kosher, To piggyback on what you're saying, sir.
Right. But hold on for a minute, James. But Asher, I see your point, and I respect your opinion. Only thing I'm saying, you're correct in theory. I said in theory, you are correct. But what I'm saying is that there are women from other countries, if they're conditioned and raised in the right conditions, can they turn a straight? Yes. But the odds are different if they're raised in families where men are honored and respected. I know some men that brought their wives back to America, and they're not corrupt. So you're right. In theory, you are correct and can happen. But I think the odds are lower if the women are traditional, they're spiritual, and they have elders that keep them in check. So you're correct. The culture can change them, but it's also predicated on the woman. It's a lot of noise in the back. I don't know who it is. Delano, do me a favor. Delano music. Cam up in the back, brother, and then I'm going to bring you on. Go ahead, James, and then Asher. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say to Brother Asher, the thing about it is, and I'm just being honest, man.
Right.
I know a lot of men who would just rather take that risk, because if you got a 30-year-old girl who's raised in America versus a 30-year-old woman raised overseas, you know, culturally, she's indoctrinated much better than what the indoctrination is here. See, the thing about it is, and I've known some brothers who brought some women over, and it's been a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, right.
But I
That's
could
why I
tell,
said the odds. Right, it's 50-50.
but I know a lot of dudes would rather take 50-50
right
versus take the 90-10.
Right,
And
that's my point. Right.
Yeah, that's the thing about America. And again, I have parents who are West Indian. And yes, a lot of the westernized philosophies of women have slept over to the Caribbean island. But I can tell you, there are some things that when you deal with women overseas, it is hardwired in their mind.
Right, it's hard.
But
Right.
and again, like for example, as much as I've dated international women, as we've gotten to arguments, disagreements, I'm talking about my black sisters. I've never seen a black sister from a hardwired family structure call a black man or any black man a bitch ass ninja.
Right.
Or try to create an environment where he's less than, to the point where you have, and I've seen this, I've gone through, and many brothers could probably speak on this. You working 30 hours, what are you working over 100 hours a week to provide something in the household and still be emasculated.
Right.
Like, I never saw it when I'm telling you straight up, I'm just speaking from my travels and just being from a Haitian household. Like, I've never seen women yell and disrespect a man who was out there giving his all and still come home to a point where it's like he's exhausted and still, what I'm saying? Like, I want to, like, that to me, and most men who can witness that or can imagine that, see how painful that is, because that man is, one thing that's going to happen is that his body's deteriorating, but he doesn't see that. That man don't see that because he wants to make sure that the well-being of his family is good.
Right. And see, that's the dangers of men, because men are wired to be doers. And I do agree with you, Asher. I agree with you in principle. It does need to be burnt down. So Asher, you are 1,000,000% correct. In principle, it does need to be burnt down in principle. But based on the odds, you still got a higher odds perspective with a 50-50 ratio versus what these young men saying is a 90-10 ratio. Based on principle, you're right, Asher, it needs to be burnt down, because the gospel says you can't take new wine and put it into old wineskin. But based on the odds, you can bring them back, because I know some friends myself that got them. And like James S. is saying, it's about 50-50. I'll take 50-50 versus them 90-10, 10% being virtuous. I'll take those odds. Go ahead.
And Kosha, you are right. Okay, I'll take the 50-50 over the 90-10. I really will. A common question that your good friend and a pal that I admire and respect, Kevin Samuels, asked is, who is actively vetting the men for these women? That's one. Two, because of the way men in the Western culture have been trained to deal with women, do they have the right shares, and shares I mean by SHEARS, to prune and till the garden when needed.
I
Because
agree with
these
that.
women
Right.
also come with their own problems.
Mm-hmm.
Foreign women come with their own problems.
I agree with that.
I have been, and I'm on both sides of the equation. I've married a Western woman and I've married an American woman, and an African woman. And trust me, each of them, women are the same. Women are the same. They need a man who can check them and protect them as long as they can put themselves within the territory of protection. It's not about protecting her, it's about protecting the territory. And if she doesn't feel she belongs in that territory, let her go.
Right.
Can I say one more thing?
The common word is she belongs to the street.
Yeah.
Let her belong to the street and suffer the consequences of the street.
Right. That's a fair point. Go ahead, James S. And then I want to hear Delano music, and then I'm gonna have Ian. Then we're gonna sign off. I got to get ready for tonight.
One thing I want to say to brothers is, man, and I made this mistake. Please pay attention to the female's mother. That is one of the critical things.
Bingo.
That a lot of brothers, and that's Doc, whenever you get a chance, how important is it for men to pay attention to the mother of these women? Because I can give you an example. I dated a woman for a while, was real passionate about her. And I obviously know she has some mental issues. And I said, I really think you need to see a therapist. Now, we all men here. If you make a suggestion I need to see a therapist, obviously you see something with my cognitive side that is deteriorating, and that's due effects on my relationship or growth. And I would take heed to that. So when I made that suggestion, she went to her mother. Right now, mind you, I'm taking a position that I want this woman to get better, right, and healthy. She goes to her mother. Her mother replies, tells her straight up, "Oh, you don't need to listen to that man. I'll be your therapist."
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? And that to me told me that it shows you how false and misrepresentative, the misrepresentation that a lot of women have for their daughters. Because at the end of the day, it seemed like to me that woman wanted more control of that girl's or that woman's mind versus the well-being. You know what I'm saying? So she identified like, yeah, I want you to have married and kids, but she really didn't, right? Because that in return, what I thought, and maybe you can correct me as too, Doc, is that it would reflect on her as a failure as a mother, by saying, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Versus me as a man, if I have a child with this woman, and these issues dwell on, I'm going to take the response. I'm going to be the one to bear that front. So that's one thing I would say. And maybe you could speak on that.
Well, it's classic minimization. She was minimizing your importance to maximize or magnify her importance. It's a thinking error. And it's a form of overcompensation to help deal with some of the dangers and the traumas that she's went through as a person. And so I like I said, I agree with Asher. He's 1,000,000% correct. In a perfect world, you burn down the infrastructure. But that's why as a therapist, I'm trying to give you guys pointers like refortifying your mind as a man. Understanding what your options are. You still got better odds with foreign women. They got their issues too. They're not perfect. Women are women at their core. I don't care if you're from Africa, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, wherever, Brazil. They still have issues. But the odds are a lot better because they're socialized. Liberal policies are permeating to countries in continents like Africa, to the continent of Africa and the countries in Africa. But you still got a higher percentage of chaste, wholesome women from foreign countries. Delano, you're a young man. How would you like to answer this conversation? We're going to sign off, and then my man, I can't think of his name, Ian for a few minutes. But as a young man, what percentage of women do you think are wife-worthy, wholesome, and wife-ready? And what are the solutions that we need, in your opinion, as a young man?
All right. First of all, good afternoon, everyone. I just came back from Brazil a couple months ago, and it was great. It was great. It was my 4th time there, so I'm a veteran now. But as far as wife-ready woman out there, if it wasn't for peer pressure to go with the get along gang, as I call them, I would say maybe 10 to 20% are wife ready. And that's due to the fact that I believe most women do want to be submissive. I just think that they have outside influences that push them into becoming very masculated women, which isn't attractive to many men. And to backtrack on the Will Smith situation, I think that this is a cultural problem in the US, and the proof is in the pudding with the media. How the media is projecting the whole situation of an irrational man attacking another man, and they won't. You can tell the culture is messed up because they won't address the true problem that his wife embarrassed him over the internet, where everybody was at home, nothing to do at the first few months of the pandemic, and this is his slap to Chris Rock was the result. And I just wish that he could go and get some help from people that he trusts. Maybe he needs some professional help, and he needs to get a divorce.
Right.
She is an example of a woman that you would not want to marry, And also, my other put for women out there, if there's any woman listening, if you are going to suppose you're a great woman, you're down to be submissive, ready to create a team with a man, please do not go after a man like Will Smith. And what I mean by that, do not go after a man that you don't think is a leader or someone strong, someone that you could not look up to, but believe in, because Jada doesn't see that in Will Smith. And that's the big problem in that relationship. If she respected that man, this would never happen.
Never would have happened.
Would never exist. That's the problem in that relationship. And that's the problem with a lot of relationships. Because us men, we are in the wrong too. You need to man up. I don't know what you need to do. Maybe you might need to join the army. Maybe you might need to have a little retreat with your brothers, but you need to figure out yourself before you get into a relationship.
Right. No, I agree with you. Real quick, we're gonna end this stream, and I'm gonna get with Ian and Asher. Thank you, brother, for coming on. But I'm gonna ask you a question real quick, man.
Yes.
You traveled to Brazil many times.
Yes.
We know the Brazilian women, as a young man, we know Brazilian women got their issues too. We know that they can be hypergamous, but overall, what percentage over there would you say a wife worthy and wife ready as a young single man?
Wife ready.
And I know you're in Rio, so you haven't been to the whole country of Brazil.
No. I've gone to Sao Paulo, Rio.
Okay.
But I've been all over. So.
Okay, but break it down. But good. But break it down for me.
Trust me.
Okay, but go ahead. Break it down for me.
60 to 70%.
Oh, wow. That's high.
I would say 60 to 70% because right off the bat, the culture promotes a strong family. Right off the bat. And they look down upon things. They don't glorify. I mean, granted, you see all it's it's a very sexualized culture as far because I'm from Jamaica. Sex is just everywhere, but it's normalized there.
Right.
But it's not. We don't glorify becoming a quote unquote hoe or power.
Right.
No, it's not like that.
Right.
It's not like that. But yeah, I would say 60 to 70. 60 to 70. More so 60 now because of social media. But yeah, you're definitely gonna find yourself a woman that you can date, and you could push it to 70 because although you have the social media, you could ground them because a culture around promotes having a strong family.
What percentage do you think, if you like Asher was talking about burning the village, and I agree, do you feel like you can ground her in America, or do you think the odds are greatly reduced if you bring her back?
Oh man, never bring them back. Never bring them back. Reduced. She's gonna become.
Thanks, my man. Thank you, my man.
She is going to become Americanized, and I mean, truth be told, you're most likely gonna have a better life outside of the U.S. than in the U.S. because everything costs too much money here.
But like I was saying to Asher, there are some that have come back and have done well. I do agree. You take a risk in bringing them back. It's a risk.
Yeah,
it's a risk, but there are some that come and they do well. So but go ahead.
Well, Kosha, let me say this. Forgive me for interrupting. Let me say this and then I'll drop off.
Okay.
If you bring her back and you are not bringing her back into your own community that is well grounded,
right,
you are messed up double, triple.
Yes.
If your own community that you are coming back into is not grounded and supports the structure, you are messed up.
I agree with that.
Kosher,
I agree with that.
This is not something that a man can do by himself.
Right, I agree. I agree with you. You're right. You're 1,000% correct.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. I agree with you, Asher. It's the man is the reinforcement home, but the community is the outside reinforcement that reinforces the behavior of that said man, and then the nation is the broader reinforcement. So you had a triple layer of protection in the past. Now you only got one level of protection. So I agree with you 1,000%. I would say if you bring her back to a community where the elders, where she got elder supports and women and the community supports her. But in general, you're right. I agree, Ash. I don't disagree with that. You're 1,000% correct.
I agree too. And yeah, that's why it works in their country, because the community is strong. So if you don't have a community, if you don't have a strong community, don't bring her back home.
Right.
I couldn't agree with you more, man.
Gentlemen, on that note, I'm going to doff my hat.
All right, Asher. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Are we about to sign off? Ian, did you want to say anything before we signed off? And Delano, feel free, Delano, to come back on at any time. I love you, brother. Share this content with like-minded men. How did you find out about the show, The Culture Clinician? How did you find out?
Who, me?
Yeah,
Oh, man, I don't know, a travel community, you know. I keep in contact with BMT, Al Grease, everybody. So
okay, cool.
You want to know somebody, you know, the whole community just, you know.
But share the content, man. I appreciate your support.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'll share it. Take care now.
All right, brother. Salute. All right, Ian, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, man. You know what? Part of the issue too that we're looking at, you know, we have a situation too where you have a lot of men going and traveling these foreign countries, but in a lot of cases they're creating some of the same dynamics that never even existed.
Right.
So when we get back to what is the solution, part of the solution is just dealing with the men themselves, and then less actually choosing the women. In the case of Will Smith, what we're looking at is he dealt with his mother. His mother left the home, I think, when he was like 12 or 13, right? Because she said she didn't, you know, she used to fight, they say that the father was abusing the mother physically, right? But always when that story is told, they never tell how the woman actually instigated, in a lot of cases, was the aggressor in a lot of those cases, you see. So, and I'll say that, you know, even in Will's case, he said he did not want to be like his father, right? So he feels guilt, you know, over the fact that his mother left the home and left him with the father. So he's paying for what something he feels that his father did. But in an interview, the mother said, had she been more submissive, the violence would not have taken place.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Oh, do me a favor, Ian. Send me that. I'm going to do a show soon, man.
Okay.
Send me that info, Ian. Thank you, brother. I love you and brotherly love, man. Ian, you be sending me a lot of good stuff. But send me all the information that you have, and I'm gonna do a masterpiece show. Because I was gonna do that show about the mother today, but the breaking news, my man Brother Love sent me a clip last night, and I was in the middle of a show. I decided to do it this morning. So it went, because, you know, it was hot off the press. So send me that, Ian, and we're gonna chop it up, man. I really appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And shout out to my man, Music Man 1982 for that $5 super sticker. Thank you, Music Man. So closing off, Ian, what would you like to add? What did you think about the show, and where did we go
it
from
was
there?
a great show. You know, I mean, it was funny because when, you know, the other show that you did, when you laid out what a simp was,
right?
That's funny. It's like you set us up for what actually happened, on how we can actually deal with this. We needed that therapy to deal with what happened. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a gravy train simp, you know. And, you know, the gravy train simp, he don't know any better. A lot of times it's older men, and they still thinking that you're going to find wholesome women in this current culture. And they thinking that the women are like their mothers and their grandmothers, but it's a totally different culture, man. So we're going to have a powerful show tonight. I'm going to have Angry Man on, hopefully, if things go well. We scheduled at 7, but I got to make sure he's still coming. He's scheduled to come on, but we'll see. So we got our fingers crossed. But I do supposed to be dealing with him at around about 7. And then getting ready for my Heels tonight. We play Duke. Who gonna win that game tonight? Between Duke and Carolina, man. Who you got?
Duke and Carolina.
Who you got?
Man, that's a toss up, man.
Toss up. I agree.
Hey, yeah, man. But yeah, I really don't know the specs. Too detailed to give a prediction on that. But you're dealing with two powerhouses, so
right. It's a toss up, man, and we'll see. Regardless of who wins, I think it's more pressure on Duke. But if my Heels get into the Final Four with a first-year coach, I'm ecstatic. If we beat Duke tonight, I think we'll win the national championship, man. So that's where I stand on that. But thank you, Ian, man. I love you, brother. Thank you for sending me the good things, man. And we're going to have a good show on tonight, guys. So guys, we're about to sign off 3 hours and 16 minutes in the stream. It's been a good show, guys. And, yeah, that's in the nutshell. That's what happens when you become dethroned. Capricorn said UNC. D said Duke. We'll see. But that's what happened, guys, when you become dethroned. And so, guys, it's been another good show, man. I love you, brothers, man. We're going to sign off and get ready for this show tonight. The brother for down the other side, hey, Duke, go Tar Heels, no doubt. I like that, man. But we're going to sign off, man. And once again, guys, it's been a good show. Please support the content. Thank you for everyone. You guys have been awesome with supporting the stream. And just like Will Smith, man, many of us are in need of mental health. And until we get that taken care of, we're going to continue to suffer the recompense of our own ignorance. So, guys, we're signing off, and I will see you guys later. Be well.
Are you a victim of brokenness and despair? A broken man is a hopeless man, and a hopeless man is a very dangerous man. Many times, many of you young men that are listening come from homes that are very toxic and very dysfunctional. And because of that, many of you have deferred your power in many ways to the point it's led over into your social life, and many times led over into your relationships. If you guys are dealing with mental health pathologies, conscious and unconscious, come see me at kosherclinician@gmail.com. That's kosherclinician@gmail.com. It's important that you deal with your mental health in order to be a better person for yourself, your loved ones, and also your community. But because mental health is often stigmatized, many of you often suffer in silence. Don't be a victim in silence. And see me once again at kosherclinician@gmail.com. And I need you guys to remember this. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. There are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become an optimized male. And male mental health is one of those elements that's paramount to the functioning of a man. Be well.
In the morning, you got me up, all cause you need to talk. So 4 in the evening, wanna break up, say that you've had enough. I'm tired of talking, again and again, argue about everything. You are my darling, this kiss and make up, I know you wanna touch. You call me every night, call me every day, I just wanna get you alone now. Trust me when I say